smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
And so the Bears are sending their compensatory fourth-round pick to Jacksonville for Nick Foles.
Just an open competition.
I know we need to run the ball more. I'm not an idiot.
Keeping it 100.
Open competition.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Chicago Bears swag. Full commit.
Guess who's back? The two dudes that kept it real. Dynamic duo that you love, the smartest man at Dr. Phil. Break it down the film, never a problem, kick it straight. Most shows focus on stats, we focus on the tape. We keeping it 100, never running east or west. We coming with that truth, cause that's what our fans expect. Cut off the freaking anchor, moving forward to be free. But don't you worry, Shayne's got the dumbest tweets. It ain't no secret, Phil and Shayne got some haters. But now they're moused up like the true and now and laters. Debaters, stars get kicked like Coach Tabor. Cuts had to be made, we added a barber moderator. Up and down, boys got you double checking. Sad sack strolling like a fool drunk texting. Flexing on the truth cause you know they'll never change. Real, recognize real, that's what you get with Phil and Shayne. 100's what we do when we're breaking down the Bears. Fuck a play or a captain, all of the upstairs. The tape never lies, the truth you see, we analyze, so there's no babies like Maybelline. Straight to the truth with acumen and facts. We got a sad nerd, but he's not just giving nerd stats. Car crash, big impact like Max sack. Every Wednesday night you got the smartest man and Phil back. Now we know you're smiling like a fat kid with fun dip. We're back better than ever and we're keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100, baby.
Keep it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100, baby.
Keep it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Hey, this is David Kaplan. Listen to me. You want to learn football? Listen to my guys, Phil and Shayne on the Keepin' It 100, the Tape Never Lies network. These guys are freaking awesome, Sparkle.
The following show is for mature audiences only. Shy City Sports. Previously on Keeping It 100.
Nick Foles is a really nice middle reliever.
Yeah,
exactly. Like, oh, we got a professional guy as our backup. Like, if we had Nick Foles when Cutler went down and Caleb freaking Haney came in the game.
Exactly. Todd Collins.
Different story.
Yeah.
Perfect
example.
Come on.
Yeah, he's a 2 to 3 game guy at best.
That's it.
Always has been.
That's it.
Go to the game. We'll tailgate before the game.
We'll call our show TTNL in the stands.
JP Holt is coming back here. Guy couldn't block the fucking sun with an umbrella.
The quarterback position and the importance of getting that right, how critical that position is for our long-term success.
The worst fucking wide receiver room that I've ever been around in my history of being around organized football. I have 2 guys that I can rely on, Allen Robinson and Darnell Mooney, and that's it.
Yeah.
I'm just happy to be with you guys, man. This is awesome.
Look in the mirror and be honest with yourself. It's unfortunate. He doesn't like Mitch. He doesn't. That whole marriage was dead. I always will speak the truth. He could have went to the Colts if Mitch was the thing he didn't want. You put your name to something, you go there and be a great teacher and leader. And as my father has taught me and many others, you do not run your offense. You run the offense that guy could be successful because that's your offense for
I
that.
was a basketball coach. If we had 2 7-footers, I'm not fucking pressing 94 feet.
You're not running Tom Davis's press?
Right. I'm like, well, we got to get the ball inside. I got 2 7-footers. I have a really small team. I'm not posting them up.
I love you.
A great coach tailors his scheme to the personnel that he has while trying to attract personnel to fit what he really wants to do. We don't have that yet. Bruce Arians is in Hallis Hall. It's not like he was at home. He's in there, and they said, who you bringing in as your offensive coordinator? Ken Wisenhunt. When they said, hey, Ken Wisenhunt, the guy who just got fired as a head coach, you can get him? Yes, he's coming with me. And on top of it, they said, we need you to do a mock press conference so we see how you handle the media. He got up, he said, I was the fucking NFL coach of the year this year.
Exactly.
Are you kidding? Is this a joke? And he still wanted the job, and they hired Mark Trestman.
That's your IQ, buddy, 0.
Now, the day they hired him, the story breaks. And I'm like, who can we get on that could talk about this guy? I'm going through my phone, and I'm like, hey, call this number, Tim Brown.
I remember this.
I called Tim Brown. He answers the phone. Hey, man, can we get you on to talk some football? Yeah, no problem. He comes on. I said, Tim, thanks for taking time. Now, we've never met. Hey, we wanted you to thank the Bears just hired Mark Trestman as head coach. He played for him. He goes, no way. And I said, no, I'm serious. They turned down Bruce Arians. They just hired him. He said, dude, there is 0 chance.
No chance. No chance.
That he'll be successful. He said, I'm just telling you, nice man, very intelligent X's and O's. He's a wizard. He said he has 0 chance of being a successful head coach. Matt got into it with Anthony Miller because he said that route is for you to run 7 fucking steps and go toward the sideline.
Because flags are on the ground for unsporting that New York can get involved.
Not 9 steps, so when Mitch puts it at 7 or falls and it gets batted down or picked off, everyone goes, your quarterback sucks. Well, guess what? Run the goddamn route properly. And I'm not defending Mitch. But I would like to see Matt with a really, really competent quarterback.
You'll see the fucking blog boys talking about this bullshit. They got big plans if they open up Soldier Field with Sammy the Bull, Shayne. Sammy has this big tailgate planned for TTNL family at Soldier Field. He's got some hookups. Sammy, you got me excited.
What did you say about collaboration?
Going through social media and doing everything the opposite of the culture.
Yeah, when Javon Wims is liking a tweet that says, Chicago where receivers go to die.
Exactly.
Like, hey, jackass, you're the one they didn't cut when you punched a guy and got kicked out of the game and suspended for 2 games. They should have cut your ass.
No, I mean, we have some guys on this team that you'll see.
Allen Robinson will run. First down, pick up 4. Second down, pick up 4. It's 3rd and 2, and fucking Ryan Nall comes in the back.
Oh my God. I don't get it.
Yeah,
if
it's
I'm
part of
a
coaching.
I'm going, you ain't handing the ball to that fucking guy.
Yeah.
I can't see throwing here. And then the play gets blown up, and everyone's like, what are you doing?
He's wide open by himself. He just made the hard catch.
Like, what are you doing?
As an organization, we had conviction on this quarterback.
Offensively. Defensively, they got plenty of talent to work with. You know, people go to friendlies for the ice cream, not the food. You look at Chicago, the defense is the ice cream. Right now, we've always struggled. So I get what you're saying. The quarterback is the difference. Mitch Trubisky, for all his warts, you and I have talked about this, Cap. Shayne and I have said it many times. I've said it before. Everybody said it on the tape. This kid fits Kyle Shanahan's philosophy. Stretch it, boo. half field reads, levels, give him the short side. You saw, let him move, RPO game, help him out, give him simple reads, and scheme things. Our friend Olin Kreutz said the same thing to me. You look at this guy, he's got no plan. He's got plays. He gets in the red zone and he puts Taylor Gabriel out there.
Right.
He doesn't understand
throwing a fade pass to a 5'8" wide receiver.
So hopefully
there's hope, guys. There's hope.
I hope
if
there's
we
hope.
got the right people. I hope that is hope.
That's gonna be the quote, the name of this show, Shayne. I hope there's hope.
There's hope.
I hope there's hope.
I hope that there's hope. Okay.
Pure bliss.
Is there any chance that Mr. Busy will come back to the Bears?
Zero.
No shot.
Zero. And I think deep down, Mitch doesn't want to come back either.
Pure bliss.
I agree.
I think he needs a fresh start.
But guys, that's my phrase. Pure bliss.
Yeah.
Remember, it came from Angelo and Joe Marino.
You are not
Father. Me, I would be, that's it. Win or out. Number. Russell Wilson gets traded here. He wants number 3.
You know
Is
what
it
you do?
coming out of the retirement bin?
Russell, what number do you want? Okay, you want 3? Okay. It's that simple for me. Listen,
should they do the Ring of Honor like I said with Dante?
Yeah, it's even that. Look at it this way: Bronco Nagurski, number 3. If you pull it out of mothballs, you're giving it to another great player. That's literally honoring him. It's honoring him.
Thank you.
It's not disrespectful. Disrespectful is taking Mike Singletary's number and giving it to fucking James Anderson, giving it to Shea McClellan. That's crazy. That's
boy Shea.
Yeah.
All day Shea.
Pure bliss.
Steve Young. People don't know this. The Bears had agreed to a deal.
Come on.
Steve Young from Tampa.
Come on.
Yeah.
Connecticut boy.
Yeah, and it was going to be, I think, a first-round pick, maybe a first and a second, whatever it was. And they came back and said, yeah, we got another suitor. If you want him, it's going to also cost $1 million in cash. And the Bears like, yeah, we're out.
Not all the decisions may be the right ones, but when you can collaborate.
Was fucking Ted Phillips there?
Are you kidding me?
Singing, we will rock you.
Yes. What's up? This is Claudio the Barber, and this is Shy City Sports Keeping It 100. That's right. The Bears have signed a redheaded leprechaun just in time for St. Patrick's Day. So, I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. We got a lot to talk about. We got 2 guests on tonight. We got my boy, the executive producer of Stupidity, a Levitard and Friends network, Mike Antoniou coming on. And then we got Naquan Jones, defensive tackle, Michigan State Spartans coming on to represent. So without further ado, let's bring in the boys, Shayne, the smartass Marsaw, and Draft Dr.
Duh.
What do you like that hip hop beat there with the Irish twang?
I like the Wu-Tang.
Yeah,
I was hoping
something's got to get us motivated, Claude.
Right? It's been a little depressing, couple 24 hours. But what's up, guys? What everybody wants to know: what is your guys' take right now on the situation?
Jeez.
That's
Good night, everybody.
That's it. There you go.
No, you know what? The way you got to look at it, Claude, sort of step on your toes there, Phil.
No.
Go ahead.
It's March, March 17th. It's not, the draft isn't gone and we haven't drafted anybody. I still think that there's, nothing is settled yet. I don't agree. I wasn't happy when the news broke, just like I was pissed when they made the trade for Nick Foles last year. But at least with this, I don't think they're done. I don't think that they're exactly done going after the big fish yet. And you saw a big fish in the media industry kind of allude to that. And actually, let's throw it up right here, Phil, and then you can react to it.
Yep.
Weren't at this time. They might be right before the draft. Not today. And the Bears didn't want to wait, and they felt like the right move was to go get Andy Dalton while they could. There were other teams pursuing him as well, and so the Bears locked him up with a 1-year, $10 million deal. They basically moved on. And again, we could really get creative and imaginative here, Greeny, but remember this. The Seattle Seahawks also liked Andy Dalton when he was coming out in the draft. So if the Seahawks ever come around and change their line of thinking, maybe Andy Dalton could be a chip in that trade.
So super quickly, because again, it was you to whom the agent gave the list of the 4 teams, and the Bears were on them, along with the Saints and the Raiders and the Cowboys at the time. Should we consider this a done deal now? You keep using the word today. Seattle's not in a position to trade Russell Wilson today. I'm honing in on that.
I don't think it's done. No. I don't think I'm ready to just say Russell Wilson is a Seahawk, will be a Seahawk. I just know how this league operates. And again, I think that maybe they are inclined today not to move on from him. But I want to see the draft come and go before I'm ready to say that Russell Wilson will be a Seahawk this year.
There you go.
He's not putting that out there, Phil, for clicks or for reaction. He's putting that out there because he has information on the situation. I saw somebody put up a comment saying, when I said that the quarterback room isn't settled. Yeah, Raymond Clark right here. I'm sorry, it's settled. Raymond,
no.
The draft is over a month. It's 6 weeks away. So I'm not sure how you can even say that when if the Bears don't get a big fish, they're going fishing in the draft for a quarterback. So it's very, very far from settled. And Adam Schefter is saying that for a reason, Phil.
Listen, I say this all the time. There's 2 guys I trust when it comes, obviously, to the national media, and it's Schefter and Rappaport. That's it. Those 2 guys are locked in with the astronomical behind-the-scenes handshakes to agents that want to get their players drafted, that want to push the price up. And thus they've created this relationship because the audience is enormous. Now, we're the best Bears podcast on the fucking planet. That's the reality. So when people reach out and tell me things, obviously I'm going to double and triple check before I put it out there because attaching my name to it. That's why I don't play this game that you see these clout chasers trying to be, the first ones that have it. When they fall on their face, they have an exit. They already have an exit written into their tweet. That's where you got to be careful. I put my name to it and I get down like that. I got to say this, though, off the top of my head. There's so many issues you saw in that open. And if you don't like the open, fast forward the fucking open. But it's the reality of this network to use its creativity and to stand alone in what we do here. So if you missed the show last week with David Kaplan, I saw someone, I never heard David swear anymore in the chat. That's what you get on this network. So go fuck yourself, you little blog boy bitches. But fast forward button isn't new. We had that shit in the 80s on a VHS. But the reality is recognize this. This truth is Ryan Pace is a fucking letdown. There's no way around it. I've said it many a times. I said it there and you saw me talking about it with Cap. He traded up for Mitch Trubisky. The story is one that will live in infamy for the rest of our lives, for eternity. The Jets, I told you, passing on Dan Marino and taking Ken O'Brien. They live with that shit. We'll have a Jet fan on soon. He could tell you that shit. We have a GM and a fucking organization run by fucking accountants. That's the reality of truth. I know I'm not going to agree with everything about what Shayne says or cars, but I trust those motherfuckers. I trust those. You see, motherfucker used in a term of endearment there. Jesus, we can't. On this show, we swear. That's why you hear in the open.
We're not here to raise your kids.
Audiences.
We're not here to raise your kids.
We're not here to raise anybody's kids. In fact, I have 4 that I've had to raise. And I find myself, because of the Chicago Bears, swearing all the time in front of them.
I think you have 5 kids, don't you?
Smoke weed every day. Smoke weed every day.
So here's my rant, Shayne. This Ryan Pace situation has been a thorn in my side since he came here. Before Mitch Trubisky, there was Leonard Floyd. Before Leonard Floyd, there was Kevin White. And I tried to like it. I tried. And you saw the high ceiling with Kevin White. But then the ultimate thing is you saw a temperament, an exchange of football thinking outside the box. The Mike Malagas, for those of you born in the 80s and 90s. The guy that runs real fast, jumps real high, and shows you that potential instead of the football player like Barlissimo. Shayne and I broke down the kid from USC, the safety from USC. If you're a patron, you saw that breakdown and how much I came away. I got to have that football player on my football team. Those are the differences with this GM. When it came to the most important position in football, you saw him fumble the fucking snap like Grossman in the Super Bowl. You can't have that shit. This is the same guy that re-signed J.P. Holtz, that has Charles Leno out there with all the fucking blog boys sitting there watching tape in the NFL. I'm talking to 3 college offensive line coaches and 1 former NFL line coach that laugh at this shit. This is the NFL. You're trying to pretty up a fucking sweet potato? It's ridiculous. You can't. You're just adding cinnamon and butter. You're not blocking shit. He couldn't block shit. It's up to Charles now. I'm glad I'm in your ear. But it's a disgrace. That's why they went all out for Trent Williams. That says, okay, they're paying attention to their roster. I'm not going to fucking give Ryan Pace praise for going all in for Russell Wilson. I am going to say at least he understands that you fucked up. You fucked up with Mitch and you went all in. These stories aren't smoke. They went all in. So when I see all those people, he ain't ever going to have Wilson. Yeah, they almost did. It still might go down, as Shayne is pointing out. But the reality is, you're right, Daniel. The laughingstock is us. But we create that laughingstock by accepting it and what people are doing to this quarterback. Hold on, Shayne. Don't put that up yet. Whoever put that up. What we're doing to this quarterback, Andy Dalton, is a disgrace. And I'll tell you why. Not one of you know on the tape what Andy Dalton can bring. Some of you will say you do, but I'm going to break that down. And the reality is he the guy I wanted or you wanted? No. But burying this guy before he gets under center is a travesty, in my opinion. Because this is a professional football player that has gone to the Pro Bowl, that has gone to the playoffs, and has been on teams that are horrific and has shown toughness and pride. So for him to come to this city and be completely shunned and be bombarded with hate when he's not done anything but try to be a starting quarterback. Let's think about that. I'm sitting there with my son, and he's asking me the question. And it really turned the tides for me tonight to come on this network when I see everybody taking shots at him. You blame the GM. You blame what Shayne showed you. The fucking super bad collaboration, condescending pieces of shit at Hallis Hall. because they don't have the presence of mind to understand how to do the right thing in the first place.
Phil, if you go back to 2017, and I'll actually defend Mitchell Trubisky here, but right after the Bears drafted him, he was at a Chicago Bulls game.
Yep.
They put him up on the big screen, on the Jumbotron, whatever you want to call it, on the scoreboard, and the entire stadium booed him. This was before he had ever even signed a contract here. This is a guy at the time was the franchise savior, the next guy. Nobody knew what he was going to be at that point, and everybody in the crowd booed him. And that's what you're seeing here with Andy Dalton. Listen, I said that I was not excited or happy with the Andy Dalton news because I don't believe in the structure of this organization to make the correct moves going forward. You know, Phil, we talked a little bit about how this is going to work out, and I'm just as guilty. Everybody thinks that they know what the Bears are thinking, and nobody really does. You know, I'm scared to death that they're going to move forward with both of these veteran quarterbacks and draft somebody late at quarterback and just say, all right, we brought him in, but we're gonna try to get to 8-8 to 9-7, 10-6 with the veterans there, and it's the wrong move. That part of it is the wrong move. Andy Dalton can play quarterback in the NFL. He'd be the best quarterback in the history of the Chicago Bears. You know, he's got talent. What we as a fan base have to get over is Deshaun Watson's not a Bear. Patrick Mahomes isn't a Bear. We had a chance. Ryan Pace and his staff blew it. They blew it. But what we have to get away from, Phil, is that 98% of fans that are listening to us now and that are in the chat and that are on Twitter and that are overseas watching or listening to this tomorrow on a podcast, everybody is going to compare. If the Bears go in the draft and trade, I'm just going to throw a name out there. The Bears go in the draft and they trade up and they draft Justin Fields. They're going to automatically compare Justin Fields to Patrick Mahomes because he's the best of the best. And it's such a flawed way of thinking or of, breaking it down. You can't look at it
Analyzing.
that way. Yeah, you cannot.
The wrong way to analyze.
You can't.
That's
and it's
very true.
All of these guys are different. And it goes back to David Montgomery that we've talked about, that fans go to his Madden rating and they look at his speed and they say that he sucks. You got a condescending little cunt like Peter Bukowski playing his games on Twitter today saying that the Chicago Bears fans are the lamest in the NFL. And it's because the Bears are low-hanging fruit. Somebody in the chat said that the Jets fans fuck the Jets fans. The Jets fans are going to make – we were just in the playoffs. When was the last time they sniffed them?
Exactly.
So don't bring me Detroit is talking shit on sports radio, the Jets. If the Packers want to talk shit about Chicago, what can we do? Nothing. They've owned us. They've had nothing but Hall of Famers at the quarterback position.
40 years of Hall of Famers.
Exactly.
They've got what?
Two.
2 Super Bowls to show for it.
Sure.
We've had Sid Luckman in the Hall of Fame. The reality is, listen, we're not breaking news in regards to the philosophy of this fucking football team. We're not. I'll tell you this, though. We were way ahead of it. Way a fucking ahead of it. Telling you that this is a Ted Phillips problem, and that every motherfucking blog boy telling me he's not involved with football, Phil. You don't know shit. I was on the old network dealing with that from the fucking guy who hosts the show. Come on. No, it's the truth. So the reality is the cream of bullshit rose to the top, and you saw it right in the open, trying to sell you on some line of shit. Those two men, Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy, should have been gone.
Yep.
Just by the film of what you're teaching. That's what matters. We're going to suit up and play you, Green Bay. We are going to suit up and play the Minnesota Vikings. And I'll tell you right now, you might not like this. You might not like to hear this, but I'll tell you truthfully. I've said it before everybody had said it. Just like I showed you in motherfucker. Matt Nagy is 70% of the issue with what happened to Mitch. It's just the facts. When you have a coach that's trying to run his plays, and everybody's saying it now, everybody and their brother, every analyst, you'll hear it. But I know where I stood on this, watching the tape, and I said it. And those of you fans, 390 of you in the chat, you know, because you know this network. Then Mitch becomes the fucking narrative because he's against what Shayne is saying, against two generational talents. One loves masseuses, apparently. But the reality is, Mitch is succumbed to this whole negative energy. He did. So I'm asking you, we all fucking know Ted Phillips is my boy Sean Sierra, his fucking ugly little hands are on it. No doubt. We've seen it. We know it. They could say whatever they want. George is being led with a fucking carrot like a donkey. He's doing bad. That's it right there. Super bad. They're leaving it. Hold on, Claudio. I gotta finish my
real
fucking
quick.
thought.
Real quick.
Thank you. So now we're stuck, but do not put the negative energy on Andy Dalton. You give that man a chance. You sit back and you allow this to play itself out. Ryan Pace, fucking you're not even a Hallis. You're a fucking McCaskey. Imagine if my grandfather was fucking George Hallis. I'd know every fucking thing about football and the team. I know every defensive lineman, where they fucking went to college, where they went to high school. I would know everything. He doesn't even know who's on the fucking roster half the time. The problem there, you're not a football guy getting football people here. Blame Pace. Disgrace with Pace. That's where the reality of that is, Claudio. Now you could come in. Right. There we go.
Well done. Well said, Phil.
I'm fired up.
Speaking of Jets,
I don't think it's fair. Jets, we know they suck.
No, I'm saying, speaking of Jets fans, our next guest, my boy, is a Jet fan, so maybe he could speak on that.
Well, this guy, every show, we do a special intro for every person that comes on the show. 100 crew. You get it. You know it. I'm fired up. I hope this guy's ready to bring it. Mikey.
Bears fans, let's just get into the full list of what this guy does, because it's a long one. A 13-year ESPN radio executive producer on The Will Kane Show, The Herd with Colin Coward, Darian Mel, Best Week Ever, Spain and Fitz, Freddie and Fitzsimmons, and is currently working on The Stupidity Show on the Battered and Friends Network. And on top of all that, he's a New York Jets fan. Ladies and gentlemen, give a proper TTNL network welcome to Mike Antoniou.
That was pretty fucking cool. That was pretty fucking cool.
Hey, that's what we do here, Mike. We try to keep it cool.
Spelled my name wrong, Claudio.
No, he said it wrong. He said it wrong, though.
We all say it wrong. How do you say your name?
Antoniou, right?
Not even close. Antoniou.
Antoniou.
Claudio's telling our narrator, telling me.
Well,
so I blame him.
I said what Mike said.
Mikey A. Mikey A.
Mikey A. We should have went with
We can always count on Claude to fuck it up.
Exactly. You know that.
What up? Smoke weed every day. Smoke weed every day.
Only when I cut hair. That's it. What up, Mike?
How you doing, man?
Good,
I'm
man.
good.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Absolutely. Can I just speak on behalf of Jets fans right now? Because I heard there's some Jet fans talking shit to some Bears fans, and that's probably the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life.
See?
Okay,
He knows.
Jet fans can't even talk to Browns fans right now.
Right.
I don't know. The only team we can look down on is the Jaguars, and that's only for this year because they're going to get Trevor Lawrence and they're going to be back in the playoffs, and we're going to still be at the fucking bottom. I don't know who's talking shit, but it shouldn't be Jet fans. So
Well,
you got to hear that here.
You got to be pumped about your coach, though. I would love that dude as our coach.
We actually had him on our podcast the other day, and I got to tell you, like 5 minutes in, I told him, Coach, I'm going to stop you right here. You pick a fucking wall in my house, and I'm running through it for you. Because that dude had me so amped. He just commanded the room. So I'm pumped about that.
Nice.
Now, Mike,
so
you've been around the map, obviously, in your intro, Colin Cowherd, all of these guys. You look at the Chicago Bears now with the signing of Andy Dalton. I mean, that money to me means there's more in the plan. Obviously, you're with Stugatz and our guy Lebitard. I know these guys take some shots. Obviously, we're low-hanging fruit right now. So what's the feel in regards to you with this move right here with Andy Dalton, especially coming out of this situation, like I said, with two generational talents, obviously set the bar, make Pace look even worse for taking Trubisky, but really ultimately, where are your thoughts on the Bears and the quarterback?
This Andy Dalton move seemed like we're going to line up to throw a Hail Mary, and instead we handed it off for a draw thinking we were going to get the touchdown. We're going to go all in on Russell Wilson. And let's be honest, that was a move that was going to take a lot to happen. And It wasn't going to be – see, the problem the Bears have right now, and it's the same with Deshaun Watson, whenever you try and get one of these big quarterbacks, Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson, whoever, you've got to answer the question for the other team of here's your new quarterback. And they just don't have that, whether it be with the draft pick at 20. You're not getting a star quarterback at 20. You don't have some young guy like Tua sitting there where you could be like, hey, you take him and then we'll take your guy. We'll take the money. You take the young guy and you'll figure it out. You guys don't have that. So this was – and I don't get all the hate for Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton was on the Bengals for years. And
exactly.
And that's what –
to the playoffs 5 years in a row.
Like that's what
Bengals.
The Bengals. Listen, Andy Dalton isn't going to win you games. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's going to play up to the talent level around him. What you need to do is find that talent. I'm more concerned about your coach and your GM than I am Andy Dalton.
Thank you, Mike. You're right with me in my rant. I'm with you. You look at the Chicago Bears. I'm sorry, Shayne. You're a Jets fan, so you get a good outsider's perspective. But also, sometimes I've noticed the national media doesn't understand the intricacies of football. They just go by the stats, and that's fine. But a guy like Darnell Mooney and Allen Robinson, that's a good – when you look at the tape, those are two talented receivers that the Chicago Bears had. And I'll let you in on a little secret. I don't know if he's watching. If he is, he should know this. David Montgomery, I'm just letting you know, is an elite running back that is hidden because of the coach that you talk about and the offensive line fundamentals. I think there's some talented pieces on the offensive line, but that run game. So talk from your perspective. Are you seeing it like me, or is this something new to you?
I look at it and I go, you went all in for Russell Wilson. I get that. Russell Wilson, that dude is elite.
Yes.
But after you were failing on Russell Wilson, what you should do is you should build the team around that guy you just said. You should be building the team around David Montgomery. You should be putting an offensive line around him that's going to line up and road grade. Every team. Rex Ryan had a saying was, you're going to know you played the Jets on Monday because you're going to be fucking sore. Okay? And that's how the Bears should be lining up right now with a guy like David Montgomery, a guy who's not going to lose you the game in Andy Dalton. And you know what? If you want to stack the box against a team like the Bears, We got fucking Mooney and Robinson on the outside and 93 tight ends that we're going to fucking run at you. And you try and cover it all. You try and stop David Montgomery, bring a guy down, and we're going to go over the top, and we're going to beat you. And not to mention the fucking defense.
Mikey, did you see the Adam Schefter report today about the Russell Wilson saying that he doesn't feel like it's done yet?
Yeah, and I'm sure as somebody, I've worked with Adam a whole lot.
Yep.
I'm sure he's getting something from somewhere.
Right.
Yep.
But I don't necessarily see the path. I mean, you're talking about including Andy Dalton in a trade to Seattle. I just don't see it. I mean, are you going to try and sell the Texans that, hey, here's your answer at quarterback? I don't see it.
I don't, that's where I will push back a little bit, Mikey, because everybody keeps on talking about a path. And, like you brought up Tua. Tua is just a young quarterback that I'm an Alabama guy myself, and I'm not a big Tua fan. But Houston, if they wanted to deal with Miami for Tua, Houston has to believe in Tua. Just because he's a young quarterback doesn't mean shit. Mitch Trubisky was a young quarterback at one point that had value just because he was young. They have to believe in the quarterback. I'm not as down on your guy as probably 90% of the planet, Sam Darnold. I just think he's been in a bad situation, but I see this. And I mean, with Seattle, if they do move off of him, they're never going to get equal value back ever, unless they're calling Houston and saying, send us Deshaun, we'll send you Russell Wilson. But then Russell's never going to accept a trade there. So it's
exactly
the separator is the no trade clause.
You're absolutely right. And the difference is that it's the kind of thing where it's not we're going to trade him because we want to. It's are you going to make me trade you?
Sure.
Like right now, I mean, I don't think the Texans believe they're going to move on for Deshaun Watson. And why would they? It's March. You get one meeting where you get him in a room with the right people and you talk it out. You could solve all this. But the problem is in August, because right now he's going to miss Zoom meetings. Who gives a fuck about Zoom meetings?
Right.
Okay, let's see what happens in August when he starts missing practices, or even worse, if he shows up and he's a malcontent. Let's see what happens then. Then you can force your hand. Because if I'm the Texans, I don't want your fucking draft picks. I got Deshaun Watson. Why would what am I going to do with your draft picks? Try and find the next Deshaun Watson? Right. That doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah. That's what you look back on it, and when you're giving up the best player, just as the Raiders, for instance, with Chicago, everybody even likes to still bag on Khalil Mack, and he's still a fantastic player. But what do you always hear from the Raiders? We got to find a pass rusher. They've been saying that since 2018. We got to get this pass rush cranked up, and it is what it is. I mean, I just think that there's more to the Russell Wilson stuff than even football. I think it goes way beyond that. It's the social justice movement that he's a big part of, and like we had David Kaplan on with us last week, and he spoke. What better place for him to blow that all up than in the city of Chicago? And I think his wife is a factor in this, with her, getting in a bigger media market, and for. You're in Chicago. The football team has been mediocre to sucks for most of its 102 years. But I think that there's a lot more to this than just football. And when he's got the full no trade clause, and he gave a list of 4 teams, Chicago's really
put the graphic up for Mike, because I want to push back on this, because I think that you worked with Adam Schefter. He doesn't put anything out there that isn't relevant, that isn't true, that he hasn't, double and triple checked in regards to who he trusts. So the reality of this for me is that is a fucking big time offer, because the 2 unnamed starters are unknowns, but we could Roquan Smith, Jalen Johnson, Bilal
Probably
Nichols,
Kyle Fuller.
It could have. I don't know, because of the $20 million he might get released tonight, or traded, or restructured with Kyle tonight. But that could be a name too. I'm just saying he's got that $20 million cap hit. So the Bears, something could go down tonight, like we told the audience, with him and Jimmy Graham. I know Jimmy Graham was a huge red zone threat. Andy Dalton loves the tight end, as you mentioned there, and that's where Graham went. But really going back to this, if the understanding that I have, and I share this because of the person I trust, is that Russell Wilson has issue with Pete Carroll and Pete Carroll's sons. One of them has left, and it became apparent that Pete Carroll is the dictator and was putting it out there that Russell wasn't doing the Russell things down, and he pointing the blame at him, and Russell got wind of it, and thus this whole thing of the 4 teams. The other 3 teams got their quarterbacks. The Bears put their offer on the table. Seattle Seahawks up in Fargo took their offer, slept on it, and the dictator decided, no, we're not going to do it. The GM wanted to do it. So there, right there, is it something we're going to revisit? Is it something, and this is the only thing I could say in regards to Russell Wilson, is Shayne, Mike, you've been around this, especially at ESPN. Draft day comes. Teams have gone through, they get to know these players, and they fall in love. They fall in love.
Yeah, we know an asshole that traded up for Mitchell Trubisky, one spot, Mike. I don't know if you know that or not.
Mike Dicker fell in love with Ricky Williams, traded his whole draft.
Yeah.
It's happened so many times. Bobby Beathard, look at these GMs. There is a possibility that the Seahawks were hoping the Bears would sign Andy Dalton with the contingency that they trade up in the draft and get their rookie. Then on draft day, don't say it's not can't happen. Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers, go look at that. Things like this.
Well, yeah, Seattle can't trade up.
Chicago would have to trade up.
That could be part of the, yeah.
If, say, they want Trey Lance, for example. Trey Lance is there at 12 or 13. Bears trade up from – people say there's 7 quarterbacks going in the first. They say this every year. Or they say no one's going, and then 5 go. I wait till draft day. The Bears go up, get Trey Lance. Seattle's like, okay, you got us the young quarterback. Give us Andy. Now all of a sudden the trade habit. So I'm just sitting here just showing you that would be the smart thing. Again, Ryan Pace.
Let me push back on that a little bit.
Okay, go ahead.
And say this. While that all sounds really good, in order to trade up, you're giving away the assets that you need to trade to Seattle.
Well, Seattle
wants the quarterback.
But Seattle would have to get the quarterback.
So you're saying they trade up to get Trey Lance, whoever it is.
Whoever they say.
It's not going to be a Trey Lance for Russell Wilson straight up deal. Like that's
we're not saying that. We're not saying that. Yeah.
So,
Andy Dalton.
I
because
understand that.
on draft day, once draft day is here, you can add a 4th first rounder.
Yes,
as extra compensation. Right now, you can only offer 3. Once draft day is here and you're on the clock, you can go down and add the extra one.
But I'm saying back and say
they
don't. Shayne, go ahead.
Seattle views first-round picks. I mean, they gave 2 to the Jets for Jamal Williams. Sure. I mean, 2 first-round picks for a safety. For a malcontent safety, they gave 2 first-round picks. I'm good friends with Mina Kines, who's a big Seattle fan, and she said, you know what the reason is? You can't fuck up a first-round pick if you give it away.
So what would be if they don't believe in first rounders or don't value them, then what type of you're talking it's got to be established players.
Pete Carroll is 69 years old. Pete Carroll's not going to sit through a rebuild. And obviously the organization is making the choice right now of Russell Wilson versus Pete Carroll. Russell Wilson wants them to choose him.
Yeah,
it's too late. You can't fire Pete Carroll now. No. You're in too deep. And Pete Carroll is saying, I don't want to get rid of Russell Wilson. Why? Because Russell Wilson gives me a good fucking chance to win.
So
there is a disconnect between the two, and you can't overlook that. That's why the agent put that shit out there to try to take it. Now, Russell Wilson is a team player. And we talk about Golden Tate screwing his ex-wife. Remember that? And Golden Tate got.
Yes. Let me just point out something you just said, by the way. Russell Wilson is his agent is putting all this out there. Notice you've seen Deshaun Watson saying, I'm not happy. I want out, all this stuff. You have not seen Russell Wilson say that. His agent has said that. Granted, he hasn't refuted it, but Russell Wilson is letting his agent be the bad guy.
That's the guy that after every interview says, "Go Hawks," leans into the mic to say, this is the kind of character you're trading for. That's what I'm saying. He's not going to go out. I want the Bear. He might be going up to this office and say, Pete, I want to go to fucking Chicago. That changes the whole thing. What if he sits out? The dynamic is Adam Schefter, Andy, and Rappaport saying, well, the Seahawks really like Andy Dalton. Mm-hmm. So now you got one piece of the puzzle of the Wu-Tang in. So, hey, I'm getting in front of it because
I got you.
Because Eric Lambert will be writing a story about it tomorrow.
As someone who's been around Adam, I will say this: if he comes out and says right now, and this is just media, you guys know this. Sure. If you come out and say right now the deal is dead, then that is a definitive. And if you are ever wrong after a definitive, it lives forever. If you leave that door open just a crack,
exactly,
then you're never wrong. I said this might happen. This had this much of a chance to happen, and look, it happened. If Adam Schefter comes out today and says there is no way that Russell Wilson gets dealt now, especially to Chicago, and it happens, then his credibility takes a big hit.
Yeah.
So leaving that door open just a little bit, it matters.
Covers your ass,
Yeah, I see a lot of that on Twitter too, with the clout chasers. A little bit of wording.
They're the fucking worst.
To go off Russell Wilson a bit, and I know we're Bears centric here, but to ask you about your Jets, what do you want them to do at number 2?
I want them to trade number 2. I want them to get more picks, and I want them to finally put a fucking team on the field as opposed to Sam Darnold running for his life. They had the 29th best offensive line last year. And you know what they've added to it this year? Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. So I want them to build a team. I like the culture. You guys mentioned Robert Saleh. They bring in the culture. I like that. Mm-hmm. Sam Darnold is a better quarterback than he's ever been given a chance to be. If he goes to Chicago, you guys will be happy. I believe that. His numbers are fucking terrible. You cannot. There's nothing. Who did he throw to?
Yeah.
Who did he throw to? Who was protecting him?
That's why this network exists, Mike, because the tape doesn't lie. The numbers always can be manipulated to tell your narrative. And that right there is Shayne and Shayne, even more so than me. I'm Andy Dalton. We were excited with an opportunity, if it was, to be trading for him, because I really like that quarterback a lot. I think, to your point, struggles with fucking cocaine head coach and struggled with the talent surrounding him. It sounds familiar here. It sounds
you guys
familiar.
have a very similar coaching problem. And the difference is, and this is something I noticed, in just kind of taking a look at the Bears over the last few days. You guys have the same issue at your head coach that you do with your GM. And that is somebody who's unwilling to adapt based on what's available.
Yep.
All they try and do is put square pegs in round holes. Yeah. Adam Gase had these weapons with the Jets, and you know what he decided? He had Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell catches a better pass than most freaking wide receivers in the league. You know how many times he threw the ball to him? 5. Yeah. 5 times. And you know what you guys got? You got that in your head coach and Nagy. You guys got the great running back. And what do? Do you hand the ball to him? No, you try and play all these gadget plays.
Tell him,
right. That's what you do. And you know what the problem is? Your GM is doing the same fucking thing.
These plays are nice. They're good.
This is how my team should be built. We need the quarterback who does this, and he should be 6'1" and have a hand that's 10 inches long. And Mitchell Trubisky fits that. Like, that's your problem. Is your GM and your head coach are both my way or no way guys. Meanwhile, you guys haven't felt it the way I have. You got Belichick with the Patriots, who has adapted his fucking game plan year after year based on what he has, not based on what he wants.
Do you hear me saying this every week? Mike coming in from the ESPN culture. There's no bigger brand when it comes to sports than ESPN. And I know I would be remiss if I didn't ask you some questions about what goes down at the worldwide leader in sports in my backyard. It's 20 minutes from my house. We can go to Lake Compounds together.
Oh yeah, every year the company picnic.
Oh yeah. What day is it so I could go down and remember Sean Salisbury challenged me to a game of darts at some bar over there in Bristol, and I fucking never played darts. And I never could believe, if I tell you the story, that I beat this guy, which I did, and he totally lost. He lost his cool. He's a competitor. I was like, Jesus. Anyway,
I will tell you this: all the rumors you've heard about Sean Salisbury, I've heard them and then some, and I believe most of them are true.
We always see this epic rant of behind the scenes with Chris Berman, where he's yelling at people. Obviously, that was captured and sold or whatever, how that got onto YouTube. But is there anybody, you don't work there anymore, right?
No, they let me go. I'll tell you whatever you want to know now.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking. I keep it 100 now. Who was the biggest asshole that you had to deal with, honestly, at that network?
Biggest asshole. All right.
Yeah.
I will say there was no more miserable experience.
Yes.
And this is just from my
You're
personal
keeping
experience.
It 100.
Okay, this is my personal experience. There was no worse experience than working with Kerry Champion.
Ooh,
there was no worse experience.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
I will tell
know
you
who that is, but Is that a dude or a girl? Because Kerry is universal.
No, that is not. I will tell you that the person that most people want to ask about, and they always ask it with that "tell me he's an asshole" kind of way, is Stephen A. Smith. And I will tell you, that is one of the nicest dudes I've ever met at ESPN. Yep. That's a dude that comes out of his way to say hello to you and shake your hand and say something nice about you or thank you for doing something. That dude is a good dude.
How have you ever met Louis Riddick?
Louis Riddick is the man. I mean, Louis Riddick's a good dude. Yeah, Louis Riddick's a good dude. He's I mean, he's just a good guy. He's a little bit aloof. Aloof would be a word I would use, but very, very amicable to deal with.
When you see these NFL insider or analysts, I'd rather not. Schefter, I know, does the fucking work. How many of them are really doing the fucking work? Or is it their assistant or PA doing the shit?
You could tell if a dude's doing the work if you watch something like I'll use an example like NFL Live.
Yes.
NFL Live has changed this year. I haven't really been around since the new iteration with Laura Rutledge and Marcus Spears and all that. But if you watch Monday Night Countdown and you watch when they break down film, if the play that they use is a touchdown or a huge play, that person doesn't do the work.
God.
If the play that they use is 3rd and 7 from the 13 and they pick up 12 yards, that's a dude that's watched every play and has broken it down. You know who used to do that? Mark Schlereth. Mark Schlereth would spend hours breaking down game film, and then what he would do is he'd be like, I want this play because it shows how the tight end does this, and that's how the whole offense runs, and all this shit that I couldn't tell you. But Mark Schlereth would watch every fucking play and pick out those. And then somebody like Randy Moss would come in and be like, yeah, show me the touchdown. I'll show him how he beat him on the outside. Yeah, I know we beat him on the outside. Everybody who's watching the game beat him on the outside.
Right.
Show me how the pulling guard made the whole fucking thing happen.
That's Oh, so
there she is.
Okay.
She is.
I don't know. I've never seen this girl.
She got a
Seriously.
show on Vice Network with
she left.
Yeah, she
ESPN.
Who's the girl that she's got the show with, Mike? You know what?
Jamel Hill.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So she was tough to deal with, Mike, a lot.
She would do this.
Yeah.
She would be like, Shayne, could you tell Claudio? Now, Claudio's right there and can see me and can hear me. Could you make sure that he does this the right way? Because I would, and he'd just be like, I'm right here.
Yeah. That's nice. So, Mike, if you just, I'm still stuck on this draft thing. Just real quick, if you stay at number 2, and you can't trade down.
There is no such thing as you can't trade down. There is no such thing.
Well,
you might get.
Yeah. Well, you know what I'm saying. They're not just going to pawn it off for peanuts, the number 2 pick in the draft. But if you can't consummate a trade and you stayed at 2, would you be happier taking Sewell at 2?
Sewell, probably
because
the only problem is I need to know for a fact, and I don't know this. I'm not in the. I need to know one of them can play right tackle because they got Mekhi Becton you drafted last year. Sure. He's a mauler. To me, he seems more like a right tackle, but again, that I'm not the game zone guy like you are.
Well, if you had those bookends, man, that's fucking impressive.
That would be the move. If I was the coach, I would move Becton over to right because he's a freak of nature, and he would move people and be so solid. And then you'd move him over to the left side.
And you know what? Then everything gets built up because now they got to bring pressure from elsewhere. They're not getting it from 4, so they got to bring pressure from elsewhere. And then things open up, man. You force a team to do what they don't want to do, and that's how you win.
Yeah, we're not a Zach Wilson fan club here on TTNL. Are you scared? Are you scared that could be the pick?
The only person that scares me more than Zach Wilson is Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson is I've seen Zach. You know who Zach Wilson is? Zach Wilson to me is Paxton Lynch. He's a guy that can throw it the length of the football field, and he can do all that. But you know what he's never done? Hit his second read.
Yeah,
right.
He gets the ball. He looks at his first read, which is usually the deep shot, and if it's not there, it's a scramble drill. And that's that don't play in the NFL. That plays at BYU. At BYU, you can do that. And I don't care if it's Central Michigan you're playing. Okay, you can play scramble drill. You know what you can't do in the NFL because it's not Central Michigan linebackers chasing you. You can't fucking do that. You can't do scramble drill. You will die.
Mike, I'm impressed with you right now, Mike.
Listen.
That's exactly why I have him as number 5 on Draft Dr. Phil's top 5 quarterbacks.
I want you to talk to these guys about what we talked about Mac Jones. Remember I asked you about Mac Jones and what you said about him? Because they love Mac Jones. I'm not on board as much as they are. So talk about
Claudio hasn't watched one tape. So
it doesn't listen.
This is a season of misinformation. This is the season of lies and exaggerations and all that. But there are certain people that don't lie. There are certain people that don't have that I'm playing the game because they don't know how. And those people are teammates, okay? Let me tell you something. There is not a player that they asked from Alabama, who would you rather have, Tua or Mac Jones, that didn't answer Mac Jones.
Exactly.
That tells you something.
Goddamn right.
That is what we don't get as analysts.
All 3 guys that are going in the first round from Alabama that aren't quarterbacks, all of them to a man said Mac Jones. Yeah,
and so did the guys last year.
Yeah, Jerry Jeudy said it, and there was another player that went out of his way to say thank you. He was like, "Listen, this guy is beyond his years as quarterback." And I see that on the tape. I'm not going to lie. His release point, I don't want to get too in-depth on the draft, but I'll get so hyped up about Mac Jones because I really believe Mac Jones is my number 2 quarterback here. If you want to sign up for Patreon, right there at the bottom, my father and I, as well as Berlissimo, Shayne, we're going to have guest analysts like Mike coming on, breaking down tape, and we're going to break down these college quarterbacks. This Saturday, X's with the O's, we're going to be breaking down Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton. So we're going to go to the tape because it doesn't lie, Mike. And we're going to break down Andy Dalton for all the haters. But you got to be a patron. That will not be on the live channel. But real quick, you had a point, Mike. I didn't want to. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. I will just tell you this about Mac Jones because it scares the shit out of me. I have nightmares about this. If Mac Jones goes to the Patriots, you're looking at another fucking dynasty. because he's not the guy that he's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not the guy that's going to come in and just. But what he is he's the guy that's going to just kill you slowly. It's a death by 1,000 paper cuts.
He's got some weapons in free agency over there too. So
it's all up here. Mac. You're not going to fool Mac. As young as he is, you're not going to fool him upstairs. That was the problem with the kid that we had here before.
Pre-snap.
And Mitch, the pre-snap reads.
The reads and
you could literally see Mitch pissing his pants. And I'm not even making a joke. And I'm like I said, I'm an Alabama guy, and I wanted Mac Jones playing over Tua before Tua injured his hip last year. People are bagging on him because he's not Lamar Jackson athletic type ability, getting out of the pocket and doing stuff like that. But he's a heady quarterback, and that fucking quick release, man, you can't teach that shit.
I will say two quick things about Mac Jones to the Patriots because it fucking scares the shit out of me. Okay? One, never forget Nick Saban and Bill Belichick. They have that relationship. They do that thing where they have those private phone calls at 3 a.m. What are you wearing? Whatever. And two, they're loading up for something. They're not loading up for Cam Newton. Yeah. The Cam Newton thing is nice to have in your back pocket. I mean, I personally don't. Cam Newton doesn't scare me anymore, but you're loading that up, and some people are saying, "Oh, what if they're loading up for Deshaun Watson?" I don't see that deal happening. I don't see Deshaun Watson to the Patriots because, again, I say, what is the answer you're giving the Texans at quarterback? Yeah. But them moving down to get Mac Jones in the 7 to 9 range, I can see that happening, and if it happens, I'm going to be scared.
So you got your Mac Jones talk, Claudio. So.
Well, I wanted to see what he said about because it
sounded like it blew in Claudio's face, though. Quite honestly, because I think Claudio was expected him to go negative.
Oh yeah, because fuck that he smokes weed. They all smoke weed.
Smoke weed every day.
Well, we had a different conversation.
We had a different conversation. My last haircut. This most recent one, I changed my tune.
Claudio told me, "Listen, Mike don't know shit about shit."
No.
He's right.
That's weird. Carrie Champion just texted me the same thing.
She'd be texting. She'd put me on that group chat.
Yeah.
Mike don't know shit.
Someone please text Mike, even though you're in the text. Say he doesn't know shit. Is everybody coming over for the picnic today? Except Mike.
By the way, if you can sneak into that picnic, everything is free, including
Let's go.
alcohol.
Oh shit!
Are we going, Mike?
You still got a lanyard, an ESPN lanyard? Or?
Oh man, that place is tighter than a fucking. Nah, I'm not gonna say it, but
you can say anything here, Mike.
I know, but I got kids, and I can't.
So do I.
So, Mike, I'm just curious if you've heard any rumors. We've been hearing some rumors about Kyle Fuller maybe being traded, and you ever heard anything about that? You've heard any Bears-related rumors maybe that we haven't touched on?
Anthony Miller is the other guy that looks like he's going to be out.
That's okay.
I get it. You got Mooney. The thing I don't get is I'm looking at a bunch of mock drafts and everybody's got you guys taking a wide receiver. That seems to be the one position to me that I'd be like, no, we're good. Like
and there's plenty of free agents out there.
You guys should be. I mean, you should be upset about not getting Russell Wilson. You should be more upset about not getting what's his name, Trent Williams out.
Oh yeah.
That should be who you're upset about.
I was upset. Trust me. I was like, this GM finally understands Charles Leno couldn't start for 2018.
$23 million a year. He did cash in.
He did. There's no way we could have competed with that.
It took a year
I think Schefter did tweet. He did speak that the Bears did try.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
they did.
They did. They were involved. They were involved. Yeah, they just.
It's a results-based league, though, and at some
course,
point, Ryan Pace needs to fucking show some results, and he doesn't have.
He's
them.
got.
Absolutely.
That's what I keep saying. This guy Pace is. We have a coach that's a shoe salesman. Shayne to put that up there. B shoe. Where is it? Do we have it or do we lose it?
I think we lost it. Yeah.
We lost it, but we do have the Sunshine Boy, super bad here, and you got the Ted Phillips is an accountant running this whole thing. Ryan Pace is his errand boy. It's just perfect. This whole picture is exact. Mitch is getting back in the Camry. He's like, fuck these guys. And look at the coach. He's like, where's my quarterback again? Where is he? I need him.
We got this guy, though.
Yes, we got Angelo. We always have Angelo. But what about Angelo? Anyway, listen, Max Kellerman. See a good dude? A lot of people in the chat are asking me because he seems like he bags on the Bears every fucking chance.
Called Drew Brees not on the upper crust of all-time quarterbacks the other day.
He also apparently rapped. So I rapped. Is there a way you could get him on and me and him have a rap battle live on TTNL?
I will say this: Max Kellerman will probably not answer my phone call.
Oh, okay. What would Carrie Wilson call Max
Carrie
Kellerman?
Champion.
Carrie Champion. Carrie I don't know her. I've never seen her.
Carrie Russell Wilson. I got it.
Exactly.
Asshole. I don't know, man.
Okay.
How about another
Max
guy?
Kellerman's a fucking motherfucking
How about
bitch.
Booger McFarland?
Booger McFarland was another guy that comes off like he might be a big ass dick.
First of all, does he not realize his fucking name is Booger?
He's known that. He embraced it.
Name's Anthony.
Anthony Booger is his nickname, Claudio.
I understand.
I work with Booger a lot. Booger is, I'm going to say it this way. Booger is kind of an asshole, but he's the one that you like. Does that make sense? Like
he's got your back. If you're Team Booger,
he's a dude that like can come off a certain way, and then once you get to know him, you're like, okay, he's not being a dick to me. He's just that way, and we're cool. Yeah. That's how I would say.
Kind of like Shayne.
Yeah,
exactly. That was exactly what I thought. I'm sorry.
That's right.
I love Shayne.
Booger.
I'm not even faking it like Mike Norris.
Booger's a good person.
Nice.
Well, listen, you've said it all. I honestly didn't know what to expect from Mike.
I understand.
He comes on here as a Jets fan, keeps it 100. We got to have you on again.
What are your plans for draft day?
What are my plans for draft day? It depends on what they do it too.
Yeah,
well, that's what we're saying.
Maybe we'll have to send you the link to come on live if you're drafting number 2.
I will tell you this: if Sam Darnold is on the team at that point, then I don't think they're drafting a quarterback. Sam Darnold will be gone before that happens. Because once they draft the quarterback, they lose all leverage in trading it.
Absolutely.
So
now,
if
gun to your head, is Sam on the team?
I don't believe so. It's going to be Zach Wilson. That's what I believe will happen. That is not what should happen.
You are like Shayne. The more you talk, like you putting that negative.
I see the tea leaves, man. I've seen this.
Okay.
The only person more powerful than the owner and the GM of the Jets are the back pages, and the back pages are done with Sam Darnold, and they got to move on. I don't believe so. I believe that it's a low risk. I'm of the mindset that you should build a team before you draft a quarterback. I mean, everybody talks about Patrick Mahomes being this great dude. Yeah, he came in, sat for a year behind Alex Smith, had one of the best offensive lines, 2 of the best tackles in the league, and not to mention Travis Kelce and the Cheetah and all that stuff, and Andy Reid. And we're like, no, he came in and he tore it up. No, Alex Smith won 10 games the year before.
Right,
like Patrick Mahomes is a stud. I'm not saying that he's not. I'm just saying that I think you need to build the team before you draft a quarterback and say, well, figure it out, Rook.
Yeah. Exactly. I love this dude, Mike. Can we lock you in? We're gonna be live covering the draft.
How drunk am I allowed
it's
to
okay.
be?
You are allowed to be 100%.
Anything goes.
Keep it 100 proof.
Have you met
Keep it 100
Claudio?
proof.
Have you met Claudio?
He's sipping beer with his pinky up. I mean,
That's it. Sophisticated. I got to bring some sophistication.
All right, 2 questions before you go.
Go.
But you're definitely coming on. You gotta, because you are a good dude. I love your energy. I'm a big believer in energy. I really am. Our fucking fans love you. Look, that's my test. If the temperature is, oh my God, we might have to fucking
wish we could know who that is, but they like that.
Facebook user. Go ahead. Follow Shayne's directions.
It could be Cherry Champion. You don't know. She doesn't want anybody to know. She probably got Facebook.
1 question and a favor, because we always ask our guests to give us a station ID. So that'll be after my question. Your favorite all-time Jet. I grew up with my uncle was a Jet special teams coach. And I used to go to and I went to Hofstra. My sweet mate was Wayne Corbett.
My brother got
Claudio tell you that?
No, I forgot about
Bogarts. You went to Hofstra?
Bogarts. Oh my God. Bogarts. I got my fucking roommate was the kicker, Eddie Ziva. I'm standing at Bogarts ordering a drink with this woman, gorgeous bartender. Gorgeous. Eddie's in love with her, the kicker. He was a good-looking kid. And he's talking to her. All of a sudden, the bouncer's grabbing me and Eddie. I'm like, what the hell did we do? Eddie's pissing at the bar because it was so packed. I couldn't get to the. I'm like, now we're getting. Yeah, he got caught pissing at the bar. I go, you're a fucking piece of shit. You got kicked out of there.
I'm from Long Island. You haven't.
Oh, you are.
Yes. You haven't lived on Long Island until you pissed on the bar at Bogart, which then became Corbett's. By the way, that might be my answer. Wayne Corbett.
That was my sweet mate.
Oh, dude,
I got stories about Corbett. We'll have to get together.
And then I would say after that, I'm going to go off book here. I'm going to go Kevin Mawai.
Kevin Mawai, great pick.
Played the offensive line in high school, so I was like, dude, offensive line. And then I see this dude Kevin Mawai who taped a target on his helmet so that he can line people up. And I was like, dude, I want to be you.
Phil, you got to ask him about New Haven pizza.
Oh, Mike, have you gone down to New Haven? Does Claudia?
I married a Connecticut girl. She took me around. We did all the New Haven spots.
Okay, what's your go?
I'm a modern guy.
Yes. Boom.
I'm a modern guy.
You're in. He's right. HL Priest, you are a part of the 100 crew. I keep telling these peeps from all over the world, especially Chicago, they get fired up that New Haven pizza.
He converted me.
I converted a New Yorker over here, right there. I have New Haven pizza.
Well, if you're from Long Island, Mike, what's a place to go to down there if anybody's ever down there?
Make sure you get some fucking bagels. I'll tell you that because you never had a bagel.
Is there a good pizza place down there?
Listen, Gino's in Mineola.
Mineola.
Sicilian. It's actually in Williston Park, but whatever. You get a Sicilian pizza, it'll change your life.
Sicilian pie. It's very thick, not like Chicago deep.
Yep.
No,
and see, Chicago pizza is fantastic. And see, like, this pizza. Why is everybody trying to divide us? I'm a big fat guy. Give me a little bit of both. Give me a little bit of both. I'll take a Chicago slice and a New York slice.
It's like a fucking inside-out calzone, bro.
Give me every fucking slice. I'm sometimes in the mood for some Chicago. Sometimes I'm not.
Well, I'm just saying, I have no issues with a good deep dish, but the reality is, if I was gonna, it's my last meal of pizza. It's New Haven 100 out of 100. It's not even close. That's how much I tell people. I'm bringing Dante Jones, Lemuel Stinson, former Bears, and my boy Steve Edwards, all to Modern Pizza to experience it once this COVID clears up. Listen, Sammy, when I come to Chicago, everyone tells me this, you got to go to this spot. You got to go to this spot. But the reality is I've been and I haven't tasted what I expect.
I will say this about Chicago pizza. I'm a little wary of a pizza you can send across the country. I'm a little worried.
We used to get those.
That's weird.
That's what I'm
saying.
Good point. Good point, Mike.
Modern Pizza. True story. I went in there, talked to the manager. Claudio used to just get us right in there. Table sir. Claudio knows everybody down in New Haven. Got to give that shit up to him. I love him. It's the truth. But I talked to them. I was down there a couple weeks ago. I said, listen, I always am talking about your pizza. It's the best. They're like, listen, we appreciate you. We've heard about your show. I go, can I come down here, do a live show? They were like, absolutely. So we have gotten the fucking thumbs up, guys. Breaking news. We're going to do a live Keeping It 100. I'm going to save it, though. When we bring Michael. Save it when Sean Sierra, all these peeps from the TTNL family come to town. We're going to go live. Maybe Sammy the Bull will be there. There he is. Home run. There we go. Mike, one last thing before we let you go, because we got another guest coming up at the top of the hour. That's the old radio drop at Hofstra. Do you remember Hofstra Radio? I used to have a radio show. The bagels, though, Mike. How great are the bagels in Long Island? I mean,
you can't be.
You can't. I honestly
get up every Sunday morning and ride my bike to the bagel store while my dad made bacon and eggs. That's childhood for me. Exactly.
I used to go to the fucking dining hall first thing in the morning because the bagels were shipped in fresh and hot. Mm-hmm. It would be all of our football players, and we had all these kids from Florida.
You didn't put
Dante Gilliam. He's like,
that's illegal, right? You didn't put creases on that bagel, did you?
No,
illegal. That shit's illegal. You can't do that.
I didn't do none of that.
Sanctioned.
Anyway.
If they had a football program, they'd be in trouble.
Oh my God! Don't remind me. David Kaplan was breaking my balls the other day. Yeah, we don't have a football. We're trying to get it back. Hopefully, Krebets can help us out. But anyway, give us a. This is Mike from whatever you want to, from Stupidity. I'm keeping it 100 with my guys Shayne, Phil, and Claudio on the Tape Never Lies Network. Do you got that script?
Can't you fucking write this thing down for me or something?
You're like Dante Jones.
Kerry Champion did it unscripted. So did Booker.
Okay, I'll do it again.
Anything unscripted.
Here's the script.
Right, go ahead. Hold on.
Go
ahead.
Then you got a cheat sheet right here. Look, Phil. Look, we're right there. Phil, Shayne, and Claudio.
Yeah.
Right. Keeping it 100 on the Tape Never Lies Network. All right. I'm going to count you down. Or you get ready to go? I'm isolating.
Go ahead.
3, 2, 1.
This is Mikey A from Stupidity on the Lebitard and Friends Network. You're listening to Phil, Shayne, and my boy, the barber Claudio. We keeping it 100 on the Tape Never Lies Network. Damn it!
Hey, I can edit that. That was like Claudio didn't have to jump in there.
Oh, you could have edited. I was gonna say that's like Daniel Jones. That was like Daniel Jones' 80-yard run. It was just like fucking right there.
So close.
Give me just the Tape Never Lies Network. I'll fucking edit it.
The Tape Never Lies Network.
Perfect. Nice. Mikey.
Awesome job.
Hey, I'm not even going to try to say your last. I still can't fucking say. You're a class act. I'm glad we had you on. We appreciate you, and hopefully this relationship continues, unlike Adam Gase.
Get all liquored up. When the Jets are on the clock, we'll link up and we'll.
Motherfuckers knew it was gonna happen.
Better question will be: am I going to be more upset when the Jets take Wilson or the Patriots take Mac Jones?
Yeah.
Well, I hope we. Yes. The way we're sitting, I hope we trade up to get Mac Jones, but that'll be another story.
Right.
Awesome job tonight, Mike. Thank you so much for coming on. Don't care what Claudio said about you. Everything he said was wrong. You're a great dude. Thank you, brother.
Have a good one, guys.
Peace. Thanks, man.
We didn't even ask him about Danny Lebitard. How did we drop that ball?
Well, next time.
Yes, next
Plus,
time.
I got to ask him about the old Peyton Manning, Tom Brady debate. Me and him have had for years. I've been cutting this guy's hair for years, and he's usually always adamant about Peyton Manning is better. And I'm like, dude, I don't know. So, well, next time we'll talk.
Next time. I don't think there's any debate. Tom Brady is the GOAT. The GOAT. Mike was awesome, Shayne.
Oh, man, it's great. Love dude. Like you said, you put it perfectly, man. You love the energy. He he fits the room perfectly. You know what I mean? It's like I saw somebody in the
What's
chat
his Twitter? Yeah, what's his Twitter, Claudio? Get that up. Throw that at the bottom, or have Jackal throw it at the bottom. Go ahead, Shay. I'm sorry.
He fit in with us perfectly, man. It's just, it's like we've done 20 shows together or whatever. It's a great time, and I would look forward to him coming on and chopping it up on the draft a little bit while the Jets are on the clock, just to get his reaction, because I think it obviously matters to him, Phil. You know how we are with this, and you always love to see somebody else that is just as passionate about it. And hey, we know all about blowing a pick at number 2, so to see somebody else possibly do it,
it is. If you want to follow Mikey, right there, Mike Costantino. Look at that, Costantino. Tinu, remember? I don't even. Claudio.
That's not him on Twitter.
That's not him.
No.
Oh, that's
Jack. Puts that up. It's just at Mike A, the letter A, Sports.
Oh, okay. Fix Mike that, Jackal. Disregard Jackal's tweet or DM. We want to follow the right guy. Show him some love, guys. LB Newton, thank you. Yeah, Mike was tremendous. Coming on, talking football. I want to make sure these people, 100 crew, show him some love.
Yeah, it was good to have an objective view. He's not a Bear fan, so it's good.
But he kept it 100. Of course. He came in there not kissing ass. He came in there, kept it 100 in regards to the Jets fans shouldn't be talking shit. And that's the reality of the truth in regards to the situation. When you look historically, let's not forget. I mean, Shayne put it right. He was 100% correct in the fact of the matter was the fucking Bears were in the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
When's the last time the Jets were? I mean, all of them. You beat the Lions. You beat the Lions last year.
That's the other team. Lions were talking shit.
Yeah.
Where do they get off fucking talking any type of shit about anybody?
It's the reality of the offseason. It's like my frustration with when you see these people put up there's his Twitter. Yeah, so 100 crew right there below. Thank you, Jackal. Throw him a follow. Tell him you saw him on the show. Let him know. And Mike can help us get some more guests on here in regards to the network, hopefully. Yeah. But my point was the Chicago Bears are in a situation where they beat the Vikings twice. They swept the Vikings last year. Mm-hmm. They went to the playoffs. They split with Detroit, and they haven't finalized the quarterback that they're going to take on this roster. We don't know who that guy is, and we don't know what's going to happen just yet. And the reality is, I think my wife is bringing me something. Hold on. So I'm going to take a second to get, and I'll explain what I'm getting in a second. And Shayne, just a tremendous interview with him. Obviously, the topic is Andy Dalton, the Chicago Bears quarterback right now. If you're just tuning in, we had an amazing open that if you don't like opens and creativity and a look back at the previous show, then you can use a fast forward button. It's very new in technology.
Phil got triggered.
I did. I fucking hate that.
It is true. You're right.
No other show does this.
Yeah.
It's like, if you don't like something, like, I don't give a fuck what your politics are, what time you go to church or whatever. That's you. You don't have to. I'm not going to change who I am. The culture of this network is through the fans of Draft Dr. Phil, the smartest man, Shayne, Claudio the Barber, Bears Nerd, Bearlissimo, Cool Kennedy, the music director. We got Lawrence Fleming, the narrator, producing those intros for every guest. There's so much work that goes on. The swag team, Ace, Alex Acevedo. You got Heather and Chris Sandlin. You got the bouncer, Jeremy Plashinsky, controlling all of the if you're a new patron member, you're gonna have to share your email to get into the Facebook. Yes! This guy, the hype guy, Angelo Joe Marino, you saw his He's on suspension right now. That's the story for the end of the show. So
But
he'll go
Phil,
ahead.
real quick. We can handle a little bit of news and advertising here. We
okay.
breaking on
Breaking news right here. Where's the breaking news from?
The TTNL network. I'm just looking for our
want breaking news?
Nah, it doesn't have to be breaking news.
Oh, okay.
Did you didn't
This thing?
There, look at that. Yes, Phil. Manscaped. How important is it?
It's very important
Yes.
in my life.
Yeah, it is. Well, I'm gonna have to. We'll learn how to do this a little bit better as we go, but you gotta line up the thing here, Phil. We can
It's like
see
my first cut it out.
The
It's
happy
just like
face.
my first cut it out.
Like that?
Yeah. So the support for keeping it 100 is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below the waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision engineering tools for your family jewels.
Angelo.
They obsess over their technology developments to provide you with the best tools for your grooming experience. Claudio should know all about that. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. And we have an exclusive offer for our fans, 20% off with your code right there. KI100. You put that in.
Keeping it
100, right? KI, keeping it 100. You put that in the code for 20% off at Manscaped. And believe it or not, Phil, we have some testimonies here from people that are semi-connected to our network.
Not visual, I hope. Not visual.
No, we do have visual.
Claudio, are you going to be?
That's right. Yeah.
Are you going to be shaving people?
We
Claudio?
do have.
No, I tell all my customers.
I heard
the
your
neck
balls.
Up. That's all I do. The neck up. That's
Angelo came in. True story. He's like, Claudio, can you groom me a little bit, Brazilian?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Claudio's not going to. For an extra $3, I'll do anything, Angelo.
I do have some back rooms that I could do stuff in, but I don't. I just
keeping your jewels 100.
Is Deshaun Watson back there? Oh, but yeah, no, just to show you that the Lawnmower 3.0 does do fantastic work. This everybody knows Greg Braggs from Braggs in the Stands. You can take those comments down real quick.
I was giving. Oh, there he is. This is the before look.
That is someone who needs to be Manscaped.
Yes, we sent him the swag box. You know, he used the 20% to even order some more stuff. So this is the before. He used the Lawnmower 3.0 for Manscaped, and look how pretty he looks now. Greg Braggs, he is. It made him look younger. He's got the baby face back.
Wow.
So
he's
absolutely,
happy.
He is. Greg is always happy.
I think that's going to be his Tinder profile. Look, he's taking a picture.
Ladies appreciate it.
Yeah, throw that banner back up there.
Throw the banner. Claudio's a producer. Hasn't
banner.
shit.
I'm looking.
God, there you go.
There it is.
I got to do everything around here.
Yeah. So everybody, be sure and shout out Greg Braggs on Twitter for his promo for Manscaped. We could take the comments down. We don't want to put it over top of our thing there for
Manscaped.
Yeah.
I got a package in the mail from Manscaped. I'm keeping it 100.
Pretty dope, man. We got a
Shayne,
little.
Shayne has opened it. I haven't opened it. I was waiting for tonight, and I'm gonna open it. And
it's got the Lawnmower 3.0 with a little LED light on it, so you can direct it. And let me tell everybody.
Have you tested it out?
Yes, 100%. And the worst thing that you can do, Claudia, you could speak to this as a barber, is nicking somebody. And you can imagine if you're not working on your face,
nick down there.
You're going down. Yeah, you wanna keep your shit tight. You don't want to nick anything, and Manscaped can help you guys do this. Yeah, they sent us a little swag bag. We got some boxers. We got a T-shirt. Like I said, the Lawnmower 3.0. They gave us some jewel cream. And man, it's pretty sweet little setup.
You guys gonna do a special Patreon pop-up show of demonstration, right?
Yeah, Greg said he will do it, but it's going to be on Braggs in the Stands. He's going to do it because he wants to see if he can double his listeners to 6. So he'll get up there and do that. But yeah, if you guys can head over to manscaped.com,
there you go.
Put in the code.
Hook it up.
KI100, you get 20% off your order, and we do vouch for it here. We're not, we are keeping it 100. We're not going to put some bullshit out there that isn't true. And go over there, check it out, use the coupon code, and I think you guys will be happy.
Yeah,
I think
promo was longer than the intro, I think.
the Manscaped, the promo. They're getting a full-on promo from TTNL, The Tape Never Lies, Shy City Sports,
awesome.
Promoting Manscaped. Groom those balls. That's the reality of this network. You know, women appreciate it. I told Angelo, you want to get a nice woman, you got to do some grooming.
Here's a testimonial.
The ball lotion is
phenomenal.
phenomenal. He embraces how bad he is. That's what I love about that. But yeah, we're doing it. We're keeping it 100. We will not allow anything on this show that we don't believe in 100%, and we're going to do it our way. Obviously, not the script way, but that KI100, and you'll get it. And you'll get special gifts in there. Boxers, briefs, there's lotions. There's a bunch of stuff in there. I know somebody's happy.
Yes.
Exactly. Get happy about that. Claudio, it's crazy right now. Is there any news out there on Kyle Fuller and the situation that is happening in Chicago?
We're waiting for Jackal to come up. I don't know if there's anything yet.
Jackal, has he heard anything? Has he heard anything?
The biggest news that we've seen, nothing Chicago related. We talked a little bit behind the scenes.
A couple updates.
Yeah, Patrick Peterson signed a 1-year deal in Minnesota.
Patrick Peterson, now
big name,
in the division.
Little bit, long in the
little
tooth.
hype. He's got a lot of hype on him.
Yeah, Minnesota likes those old corners to see if they can squeeze a couple more years out of them. It's not anything that affects my thought process on Minnesota too much, but that's really been pretty much the biggest news.
What about Kyle Long?
Yep, signing in Kansas City.
City.
He wants a Super Bowl.
So here's a guy that clearly has made his case for how he feels about the Bears organization. Obviously, someone told him the reality of what you're saying is kind of affecting your teammates that are on the fucking team. It's an awkward thing when that happens, but Kyle Long now coming back out of retirement, Shayne.
Yeah.
Was his deal done when he retired? Was there a year left? How does that work?
With Kyle, no, this is where this has been the source of some
Twitter
controversy.
Debate?
He was pissed. He went on Olin and Jason McKee's new podcast that they just started doing, and he got pissed. The Bears told him essentially to go home, that they were, going to go in a different direction. And Kyle Long got really upset and I guess said a few things that he shouldn't have. He said he let it get the best of him and, forgot that it's a business. Because Phil, listen, we love Kyle Long here. We've interviewed him before. We've sat down, love everything about him, but it got hard to watch when you were looking at him on tape because he was a shell of his former self. And this isn't that his talent was diminishing. He just wasn't healthy. He kind of reshaped his body, went away for a year, but I guess he is known for quite a long time that he was, intent on coming back. And, you get a motivated and healthy Kyle Long. I think it's a perfect gamble for Kansas City. 1 year, $5 million. I kind of thought maybe the Raiders were gonna sign him. He's got the heritage there and let everybody go crazy with the Raiders having another Long on the roster, but they let him bounce to Kansas City. You see them making moves. They brought in Joe.
Isn't that funny? Like he hates Nagy, goes to Nagy's go-to every. Well,
I think he was
every
just
time he deflects.
I think
I learned under the greatest coach, Andy Reid.
I think Kyle Long's pride was, it took a little bit of a blow. And hey, listen, we've all blown off some steam and said and done things that we shouldn't have in the heat of the moment. And I think that's precisely what happened. And he's a 32-year-old guy, and you're not in this league doing the things that you do without having an alpha mentality. And when somebody comes up to you and says, "No, you're done," that's sometimes that's a bitter pill to swallow. And we'll see. You know, I wish him well. I do. I really do wish him well. And if he can go to Kansas City and get a chance to play in a Super Bowl and win one, hey, more power to him.
Real quick. Real quick. Real quick. Real quick. Real quick. Real quick.
Yeah.
Listen, if you aren't, it doesn't matter if you're a patron or not. If you love the network, you love what we're doing here, A, tell a friend. B, get yourself some swag. I got some people that are sending me pictures of themselves with the swag. I truly appreciate it. Look at Claudio. Claudio's got his
You can have that right there.
We got this guy. Look at Dieter Iceland. Dieter Iceland coming, giving us some swag. What's up? My wife coming down. She's
Steph,
rocking some
Steph?
swag. Steph's bringing. I'm going to explain this. You got Dieter Iceland. You got former Bear Dante Jones. If you didn't see his interview and Dieter Iceland interview, look at the hands on Dieter Iceland.
That's crazy.
Dude,
Yeah.
Shit.
the fucking logo is so big on the sweatshirt. Claudio,
Yeah.
hold it up. Hold the t-shirt up and put your hand up to give perspective. Look at that. That's how big this dude's hand is. So this kid is moving to center. If you missed the interview with Dieter Iceland, it was an eye-opener as well as an ear-opener if you're listening on the podcast. It was intense. He's rocking the swag. Some more of you right here. Ryan Cox, Spencer Strong. That's the guy. He's keeping it 100. Obviously, you saw Lemuel Stinson, but I got to shout Lady Bear, always rocking and supporting the TTNL family. So I guess our guest is not this guy.
Not that guest.
No, hell no. Hell no. That ain't our guest. Our guest tonight, let me just say this about it. When a kid reached out to me on Instagram and said he has a buddy that watches the show, knows you, is from Illinois, and he's telling me the background. I get so many people telling me stuff, right? So I watched a little movie on this guy. And I'm telling you, as a father, as a man, I get goosebumps and emotion in my face thinking about this guy's journey. And I'm so excited about the opportunity to bring him on the best Bears podcast on the planet, talking football. Naquan Jones, we do it a special way here. And we're going to make sure you get this. But I wanted to make this something special for you. And so did Shayne. Let's bring this guy out the right way.
Bears fans, this Evanston, Illinois native took his game to the state of Michigan to suit up for the Spartans, where the 4-year letter winner had 78 tackles, including 12 and a half for losses and 3 sacks, with 3 pass breakups, 1 forced fumble, and 1 fumble recovery in 46 career games. With the NFL draft coming up at the end of April, your Chicago Bears just happen to have an opening on the interior of their defensive line to back up Eddie Goldman. If it happens, he certainly won't have to move very far. TTNL fans, get out your seats and give it up for all 6'4" and 340 pounds of him. He's Naquan Jones.
Oh, yeah.
There he is.
There he is. How are you doing?
Pretty good, man. Can't complain. Cannot complain.
Naquan, we've been talking a little bit back and forth, and you sent me the text earlier. You're like, man, I'm so excited to do this. That gets us jacked up and ready to go. But man, we're glad to have you on here. Did you like the open?
Yeah, I loved it. I appreciate you guys for that.
Yeah, well, I'll text that to you after the show's over, so you can have that and watch it again and show it off to everybody.
You need to show that off to people. You deserve it.
we might have to make a small edit to that. I'm actually 315 now, so I gotta make some.
Since I produced it, I can handle the minor adjustment.
Yeah, we pulled that off the MSU website, but no, hey, that means you're putting in the work, and that's what we like to hear, man.
315. So at one point, kick it right off there, Naquan. One thing about the NFL, obviously, your body is your brand. That's your McDonald's that you're driving around. That's you are your career. So
Yes,
I always, as a coach, as a guy growing up in football, my father always taught me, it's like some of these guys are so talented, so gifted, they take it for granted and they don't work on their body. And one of the things that we were going to talk about tonight that you just fucking checked the box for me is what's his weight at, because I want to see him at 320 was my note here.
320.
And you're at 315 because I'm watching your tape. You know that play where you came around the loop, the linebacker made the play, but you're there, right?
Yeah.
You see it in that highlight. I wanted fans, as I watch tape, that shows me athleticism to get there at your size, even if you didn't make the play. That shows me the heart, desire, and the talent that you have there. And that's why I put the red circle on you, because I wanted people to see, all right, he doesn't make the play, but this is the showcase of a talented defensive lineman. So 315, Shayne.
Yes, sir.
This is big news.
How are you feeling at 315? Has like your agent or anybody told you like a specific weight that they want you at? Is it 315? Is that where you're feeling the best?
Yeah, so I feel great. Honestly, working out every day, my stamina is better. My endurance, I feel better. Like I did that. I set that as a personal goal for myself because I wanted to just be able to, pick up on my athleticism and show more of that. And obviously being lighter, that helps a lot.
Nice.
People are wondering probably why I'm being rude and eating something right now, because I'm with you. I want to lose 10 pounds. So I have this guy shouting out my boy, Randy Peterson, the training. He's training me and I've changed my whole diet. So I have to eat. I never eat at 10 something at night, but I'm eating this. My wife actually brought it down. This parfait, this yogurt, oatmeal.
That's good dinner. That'll get you down 10 pounds.
Exactly. That's where I'm going with it. So I'm training at 47 because I got 2 twin boys that are going to be looking up to you when you get into the NFL. That's the truth. So let me ask you this. Your journey, take us back a little bit. And this show is called Keepin at 100. You've obviously watched it, so you know how we get down here. Let's talk about you, the person. Here you are. And for those of you just learning about Naquan, he lost his mom while he was – how old were you when you lost your mom?
I was 21.
21 years old. And it really touched me when you talked about somebody capturing that picture of you at spring football, your mom reaching, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it, reaching down to you. And that's the last time you saw her. How much does that motivate you as you take this next journey when everybody's saying this guy's a late round pick, this guy doesn't have the sack numbers and what have you? How much does that invoke this energy in you and passion and desire to get you down to 315, but to get you in the league?
Yeah, it motivates me every day. I actually have a necklace right here. Me and her, that picture's right here on it. I wear that everywhere I go just to, give me that extra push. Sometimes I may not want to do it, but I know I have a big goal. And that was, one of the main reasons why I decided to finish school and actually get my degree instead of leaving early, because she wanted that for me. That was most important to her. Obviously, she wanted success for me on the field. But, she was big on academics, and she kind of let me know every time that that's going to be something they can't ever take from you, your degree. And I knew that would make her – she ended up passing away before I could graduate. But, I know she was still there with me in spirit, and I was able to get that done. And, she's there with me every step of the way. I want to do everything I can for not only her, but for my grandmother, my sisters, for my entire family. And, me just losing weight is just a little milestone and the big accomplishments and the goals I set. And I haven't been that weight probably since my freshman year of college. And it's a great feeling. Just, I set that goal for myself at the beginning of this process and I achieved it.
It's freaking awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's an amazing story. Naquan, like throughout this process and going through, this worldwide pandemic and everything like that. But now, I mean, here we are, you're coming down the home stretch of, a life altering couple of days for you and for your family. And like I said, I'm sure your mom is looking down, just smiling ear to ear. And with that being such a motivation for you, is what are your plans for draft day? And, is it just immediate family and what's going to be going on that day for you?
So I'm actually still in the works of that. Excuse me. I might do something here in Chicago, or it may be in Florida with my immediate family. I haven't made that decision yet. My mentor and my grandmother need to have more contact. I'm gonna, let them run that thing. But of course, I'm gonna want to have, very close friends there, and I want to, have family there. So I may end up doing it in Chicago, so everybody has access to that, and just easier for everybody.
What's the cheat meal that grandma's gonna make for you on that day that you're gonna splurge on, man?
Let me give a shout out to Buffalo Joe's, because that's definitely I've been on a strict diet, but after my pro day next week, that's the first place I'm going.
Yeah, that's what I want to tell. That's what I want to tell everybody. You and I were texting back and forth trying to lock in a time, and I mentioned to you maybe the 24th, and you're like, "That's my pro day," and I'm like, we're not going to touch that. That's a big day for you. I mean, what's that going to be like, man? Are the nerves starting to build up right now, or are you ultra confident in going into this?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just, I've been training for this, and I mean, I'm confident with, the way I've been training for it, but at the end of the day, you don't know specifically what teams you're looking for. And in my head, I'm thinking, that doesn't really translate to football. It's just testing, to get these numbers and see how, but it's a part of the process. And that's what my trainer told me, like, even though it doesn't really translate over the football, it's still part of this process, and coaches want to see that, So I'm coming in here level-headed, clear. He told me not to think that much. I tend to overthink things, so he told me just go in there with a clear head, and it's a business trip, no different than a Saturday game,
Now, I want to go back to your mom again. I'm sorry. I just think it's important we keep it 100 here.
Yep.
You were a basketball freak. You wanted to play basketball so bad, but this woman had the presence of mind to look at you. You already talked about your degree, but think about this as you wear her in your heart, because I'm going to be your number one fan right now. I'm keeping it 100.
Appreciate that.
Because of the integrity, the articulation, and energy that you bring. In 1 minute, I saw one person in the chat say you could see the character of this guy in 1 minute. And that's what we don't get as analysts, the sit downs like this, to recognize the character. But talk about that. Your mom was the one that said, no, you're gonna fucking play football. And this is why, because and I used to say this as a coach, so it resonated with me. I go, I love this woman.
Yeah.
Look at if she's so proud of you, because she said there's not, how many centers in the NBA are 6'4", honey, right?
Exactly. That was the exact conversation.
She put it on Front Street. Talk about it.
So I actually grew up playing both basketball and football. I've been playing since I was 6 years old. I fell in love with basketball early, and I mean, it's a very fun sport. Obviously, I was always playing against older competition, and it really helped me throughout my career. And I was just having so much fun playing basketball, and football was a little different when I was growing up. And it was actually a little mix between my grandmother and my mom. They would literally physically have to drag me out of the car to go to football practice. And as I started to get older, my grandmother did a great job of keeping me busy. And it would go football season, after that, start basketball season, get into another basketball season. I was playing maybe on 2 or 3 different teams a year, and obviously with that much basketball going on every day, I fell in love with it right away, and I was having success with it. I was pretty good at basketball, and I was playing on some really good teams. And by the time I got to high school, my mother and my grandmother, they basically told me, you know, like, what are you gonna do? You have to make up your mind. Like, sweetie, there aren't too many 6'4" centers in the NBA. You know, like that's about the size of a point guard, and you're not gonna be playing point guard. So, I mean, it was obviously, you know, a realization, and I made football like a full-time commitment, and that's when offers started coming in, and I knew, you know, I obviously loved playing football as well, but you know, I looked at it more as like a realization, like this is something that I can potentially do in college, and then, you know, take it to the next level. And that's ended up how I ended up falling in love with football even more. You know, I wanted to take that as far as I could take it, and that's, you know, where I want my career to be.
Naquan, I always look at, you know, I have a 10-year-old son, I have a daughter on the way, and nieces and nephews that are all, yeah, thanks, man. And, you know, they're all involved in sports, but you know, everything nowadays is so geared towards, you know, it's specialized. You see parents pulling their children out of other sports to focus on one thing and one thing only. And it drives me nuts as a father. I knew the way that I grew up, and, you know, I wanted more and more and more of, you know, every type of sport.
Right.
For you, with it being, like you said, with basketball and football, how important was that to you to get you to this point, you know, experiencing two different sports? You know, I mean, if you would have been laser focused on one thing and missed out on the opportunities on the basketball court or vice versa, how different do you think that would have been in your path to where you are today?
That's a great question. And I feel like if I didn't play basketball, I wouldn't be as skilled, you know, just some of the fundamentals I have, you know, that translate over from basketball to football, like my footwork, just like my awareness. And I mean, I've always been complimented on my feet and the way I move for a guy my size, and I credit basketball 1,000%. Yeah, just running up and down the court, being able to move like that on the court, it makes it so much easier on the field, you know. And basketball is a lot more just like cutting and doing stuff like that. And I mean, I credit basketball, like, plus the athleticism I was born with, you know, but basketball definitely, you know, magnifies that as far as onto the field. I've had that ability since I started playing football just because of basketball. You know, a big guy that can move like that, run up and down, you know, just find the ball and make plays. That's something that you don't normally learn that on your own. And I got basketball, you know, showing me that and helping me translate that into my game.
Speaking to that real quick, Phil, before you go, are you, now that you're focused fully on football, when you're relaxing a little bit, are you a 2K guy, or are you still going with Madden?
So I was just playing my mentor in the game Madden before I got on this call. Like, literally, we had to pause the game. I'm a little bit of both. I need to get more into video games. Because, you know, it's fun, and I kind of lost the habit of it. I'm usually on my Xbox just watching TV or, you know, watching movies.
Team Xbox. You're my guy. You're my guy.
Yes, sir. I just got back into Call of Duty, so with the way, like, I'm just trying to, you know, get a little rotation of games and, you know, kind of switch those in each day.
Well, our guy, Jim Larison, he's our business manager. He's from Evanston. He loved you right there. He was you were a beast of a player. He went to Evanston Township High School also. Nothing but love and support for a fellow Wildcat.
Yes, sir, Wildcat. Go Kids. No, Northwestern Wildcats. We're Wild Kids.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. I didn't know. I'm learning a lot of things about the city of Chicago, Evanston. So since you grew up in Illinois, did you grow up a Bears fan?
Actually, I did not.
Keeping it 100.
Don't tell me it's Green Bay. Don't tell me it's Green Bay.
Don't tell me it's Green Bay.
Definitely not Green Bay. And if it was Green Bay, I would have way more respect than to admit that on this show. No, definitely not Green Bay. Like I said, I grew up a basketball player. I didn't really watch too much NFL football, and I didn't really have a favorite team growing up. It was mostly, but I can't say I was a Bulls fan. You know, but Obviously, I would being from Evanston. I watched the Bears when they play, but they weren't really any of my, they weren't my favorite team growing up.
You cheered for players, am I right? That's what you did. I would always tell my football players, the more football you watch, the better you are. You just start to understand things that your body kind of replicates from seeing it. So the more you watch, and if you're a parent or you're just learning the game, it's so important that you watch it and ask the question. No question's a dumb question. But on top of that, you look at your career here. How did it come to Michigan State? Coach D'Antonio comes into your school and recruits you. Were there other schools recruiting you? How did you make that choice?
Oh yeah, it was a fairly easy choice for me. I committed to Michigan State as a junior, and I fell in love with it pretty quickly. I had some great issues going on in high school, and that kind of pushed a lot of schools away. I was getting a bunch of interest, so I was seeing different schools come in like every week, and I noticed something that they were sending like, say, send like a position coach or like a GA or something like that. But Michigan State, actually, the first day Coach Narduzzi came, and I was sick, so I didn't attend school that day. Then they sent Coach D'Antonio the next day. So I mean that to me, that made a statement. That made a statement off rip, like they're serious. They're showing a lot of interest. And then moving forward, like I said, I had some grade issues going on, and I required I had to take a few online classes before I could even obtain my scholarship to Michigan State, and they were solid through and through. Coach D was coming to my school pretty much every week. He was sitting down with my advisors and my teachers trying to figure out a plan for me to get this scholarship. And ended up working out. It's actually funny. I talked to him like a week or two ago, and he still brings up stories, little funny stories, and he's having a great time. Obviously, he retired, and me and him will have a relationship forever. Just because that showed me that he cared for me more, more than just an athlete, more than just having success on the field. Yeah, and he cared about me as a person, and obviously, my family. Like I said, I value, characters, and I value people's relationships, and that showed me right away that he was a genuine man.
So Naquan, what your teammate there, Shakur, he's he got the invite, and this is what we like to do too. It's not just about Naquan Jones and the teammate atmosphere. Talk about some of your guys that you're going through this process with, and how much easier it is when you got a guy there that you're used to, and are you working out with him much? Are you guys in the same facility working out?
We are not. So he's in Florida, I want to say at Exos. I was at Sports Academy in California, but we still stay obviously in communication.
Sure.
He got invited to the combine as well, which is huge. He had a great season. I wouldn't expect anything less. I still don't know how Antoine didn't get invited. He had a great season as well, and I feel like we all did what we needed to do. We all had to, we made this decision before the season started, and we all had the same goal in mind. We wanted to take our game to the next level. Like I said, it still blows my mind that Antoine wasn't invited, but both of those guys are great players, and I see success coming to both of them.
Well, this is a year that's different than any other before because of the COVID issue and the combine and how they're running that. Have you met with teams over Zoom? Is that how they're doing it? Have you spoken to any teams yet? And what could we expect from you in regards to, what are you pushing up? 225. I know a lot of fans are going to want to know some of your numbers. Share that with us.
Yeah. It's been constant Zoom calls. I've pretty much had calls almost every day. That's about the furthest extent of like what we can really do right now. I was able to meet with a bunch of teams in Hawaii for the Hula Bowl. So that was a good time to, get a face-to-face conversation. I want to say I probably met with like 15 to 20 teams in that span of a week in Hawaii.
Right.
It's just, I mean, it's obviously it's a difficult process because everything's over Zoom, and you get a feel for things. We have to watch some film, and it's over Zoom. I have to take notes and learn defenses and do things of that sort. But it's all over Zoom, so that makes it just a little bit challenging. But again, it's a part of the process. I'm working out. I don't want to, I can tell the people my goals, but I don't want to get out in any obviously nothing set in stone. I'm going for 25 to 30 on 225.
Nice.
I want to run either a 5 flat or 4.9. So, that getting my weight down, obviously that helps, picking up in speed and just different things like that. Most importantly, I want to go to my pro day and just show the coaches, that I'm better conditioned, because that was actually a concern going into, this entire process. They just wanted to see me better conditioned and dropping weight, that helps out a lot. So, like I said, I set that goal for myself right when I got out of school, just because I knew it would better me as a player. And, I stuck to it. And Wednesday, we'll have to see.
Let me say one thing as advice to you. I've been in this game my whole life, around football, on the pro level, college, high school. I'm watching your tape. I'm keeping it 100 with you.
Mm-hmm.
Your talent is immense. If he loses weight and puts his body, his mind to this, you are going to have a career, because the NFL will chew you up and spit you out. Sure. So don't be the guy that gets in shape just to get drafted. Mm-hmm. Always remember this moment with us. I really mean that, because I am pulling for you. You work your ass off. Every coach from this coast to the other, the West Coast, is going to say, this guy is a true professional. He puts it first, because you have God's talent. You playing basketball helped you. I'm telling you, your feet, 100%. Your ability. You don't see big men, 340 pounds, moving like that. Akeem Hicks is a perfect example of someone that, a freak of nature, being able to move on that. You have that ability. So at 315, with focus and passion and doing this shit, that's my advice to you. Just continue to put you first. Forget all the money, and all that shit will come. Right. You have talent. I'm sorry, Shayne. Go ahead. I wanted to make sure, because we keep it on. Yeah. You're family now here. Seriously. That's how we do this on this show.
Thank you.
Naquan, you brought up you mentioned a couple of words that made my ears perk up, because this entire network that Phil and I have started, we're based off tape. We're not looking at stats and saying, "Oh, Naquan didn't have enough sacks, so he
only had 3
he sucks."
sacks.
We know that's not what it's about. We put in the work, we study, we're watching Naquan, what Naquan does on tape, and then we're watching it again, and then we're watching it again. And Naquan Jones, when it's time for him to watch tape, what's your process on that? We have a guy here in Chicago, Kyle Fuller, cornerback, number 23, that kind of got out.
He's here still.
Yeah, we hope he's still here. He's got a problem where he's making. He's got a problem right now, Naquan, that we hope that you run into, where his cap number is too big. He's making $20 million, so they might have to cut him.
I would love that.
So we'll hope you get there, but
you'd have PS5.
Yeah,
as well as
no. But no, Kyle Fuller is a player that lives for film study. He goes out with the guys in the secondary and the guys on the defense, and that everybody's staring down at their phone and they're ordering their steak and having their drinks. You look over at Kyle Fuller and he's on his iPad and he's watching tape. So what is the process for Naquan in film study? Is it a big part of what you do? Do you enjoy it, or do you need to improve there?
So I've actually improved tremendously on my film study, and my D-line coach broke it down a lot easier and made it a lot easier for me to watch film, because he told me specifically what to look for. Early in my career, I'm not even going to lie, I'm keep it 100. I did not watch much film at all, and I was playing strictly off instincts. And, You know, and going into this last season, I really spent the time and locked in to watch film, and it helped. And you notice a difference, like in the way I'm playing, things felt like easier. Once you prepare and get yourself ready week in and week out, the game kind of almost slows down for you because you're a step ahead, because you just know where to be, you know where things are going to come to. And I mean, one example I can use that was, you know, a great example was from the Northwestern game when I had a sack against Peyton Ramsey, and we went through and studied the tendencies of what kind of quarterback he is. And even from Indiana, he's a step-up quarterback. And in the Hula Bowl, I knew to counter back to the face because I knew he would be there, and he ended up being right in my hand. So that's just an example of, like, the film study. Like, when you watch and you actually prepare, you know, and you pick up on tendencies, it makes the game so much easier.
Bro, scouts and people are watching. They understand your transparency is the thing that any coach wants to know. If you can recognize your faults, just like the show, Keep It 100, that right there showcases the kind of character you have. I look at you when you go into the Big Ten. I'm a big Big Ten football fan because I feel like they play and understand the game. A lot of people love the SEC and whatever. I'm a big Big Ten fan. I've always loved the smash mouth and the pulling and the trapping and the running. Obviously, historically, what they do there. Who did you go up against in the Big Ten that really was like, wow, this guy, this is my wake up moment of playing somebody that's able to put me in check and not just get over on that athleticism and strength that you grew up with?
Yeah. Typically when we played against Ohio State, especially in 2019, they had a really good offensive line. I think majority of those guys ended up getting drafted. It was a tough game, and it was a game that I knew I was going to have to, you know, bring my A game, because that was a game that obviously a lot of scouts were going to be watching, and you know they were tough. Wisconsin as well. That was probably even tougher than Ohio State, just because those guys were. I mean, they were big, and they were very powerful guys. I tend to, you know, in double teams, I like to hold my ground, and there were some times where I was like, holy shit, I mean, what? I can't do it. Like, these guys, you know, they were very well coached, and it was a struggle that game. But those are my two wake up moments. I also, outside of the Big Ten, though, I did like Notre Dame in 2017 when they had Mike McGlinchey and Quentin Nelson, and obviously he has, you know, made it to the league, and he is doing some magnificent things. He's probably one of the best guards in the league already, and that was really my wake up, you know, like welcome to college moment. You know, those guys were extremely good, and you know, I knew, like, playing against them. Obviously, I played against first rounders before, but you know, just playing against two of them on the offensive line, you know, that really, you know, tests your confidence and tests your play.
One thing that can be very underrated as an interior guy, we always look to a guy that's perennially underrated here in Chicago, on the Chicago Bears inside, is Eddie Goldman. He sat out with COVID concerns for the 2020 season, but we've had guys on like Kyle Long, you know, talk to him about a guy like Eddie Goldman. And he always talked about what made him special is he's a large guy and he's got the quickness, but Kyle always would talk about, it's like, man, if Eddie gets his hands on you, it's over. And I was watching you when you first came on, Naquan, and you had your hands up by the camera there, and I'm like, Jesus, this dude's hands are they're huge.
Let me see. Let me put your hand up next to mine. Well, you got to put it way up here. I'm too close. I'm cheating.
Yeah, you got those.
I got small hands, so
yeah.
I guess it's not giving us a good example, but trust, he's got some big hands.
Yeah. In terms of your training, I mean, how specific, like what are you really trying to hone in on now, you know, in like with specifics to get you ready for the 24th, but more importantly, to get you ready for, you know, hopefully we can have the rookie mini camps and stuff like that moving forward.
Yeah, right now, just, I mean, technique as far as just like, little things is shooting my hands the right way, proper hand placement, getting the drills down, just making my legs feel good. And I'm doing extra conditioning every day. So obviously, that's really most important to me right now is making sure I'm conditioned and can, last throughout the, like a long 10-play series. And just small little like fundamental things. Just even off the field, just maturing, learn how to just be more accountable, doing things on my own, and just like just being a professional. I came into college very immature, and I had to grow up, and I had to do a lot of growing actually, to put me in the situation I'm in now. So I just want to keep just getting better as a person, not only just on the field but off the field too, because you see a lot of instances where guys have a lot of, not just character issues, but they're getting in trouble off the field and doing a lot of dumb shit. So I just try to, stay out the way and, just be the best professional I can.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's much better for you to get the maturity part of it handled before you have something in your wallet.
Right.
Because if you're not mature when you get to the league and you get a little bit of cash in your pocket, then the things get amplified. I always look back to, you can just see it throughout and it's not just in the NFL, it's in the NBA, it's in Major League Baseball. And Phil and I were actually talking about this, just kids that we even went to high school with that had the talent to make a name for themselves in different sports, but they just couldn't settle down and focus. And like I said, man, it's be proud of yourself for getting to this point, Naquan, and like you said, getting in shape. And taking that serious, and you're wearing your mom on your heart, and that's whenever you're having a tough day, man, just like I said, reach down and you grab that and think about that when you're going forward, and just realize how important it is, because we don't bullshit here, and if we thought that you had some big time flaws, we would literally talk to you about it here live on air, because that's how we are. But you have special talent, man, and it is noticeable. And I think with you dropping that weight, I think it's going to be amplified.
Well, I'm gonna ask. I'm the GM, and I'm talking to you. Why did it take you this long to drop the weight? How are you going to answer that question? You got to be prepared for this question is going to come to you. So they want to know.
Like I said, I got into college and I was very immature. I didn't take the nutrition serious as much as I can. I tried to rely on the fact that we were working out every day. But throughout this process, I've learned that it's not only like how much you work out, it's what you put in your body. I mean, I'm eating a lot cleaner. I'm just putting things in my body that I need to. All the BS food, like I try to stay away from that. Besides after pro day, I got a cheat day. I got a cheat day lined up for myself. But for the most part, I've been disciplined. And I mean, it's paid off. Not drinking, like not going out on the weekend, whatever, or even drinking just like pop and juice and just sticking to water. That's probably
that's the Midwest in you coming out calling it pop, Naquan.
When I was in Chicago with Sandlin, and he's calling it pop. I'm like, what the fuck is pop? We call it soda here, Coke, Pepsi, Sprite. We call it by the name, but the Midwest, they be calling it pop, like it's 1950 and it's Happy Days with the Fonz. Hey. Listen, when I look at you though, seriously, I see this drive. Does a switch go off when you hit that field? Do you get like an angry attitude about it, or is the personality still building? Because I see an angry football player.
Yeah, one thing that resonated with me from Michigan State, from Coach Barnett, he said when you guys step on the field, I want you to flip that switch and bring that other guy out. I want to play as angry as I can. I have a reputation, as a guy being a gentle giant off the field, whatever, that's just my personality. I'm a very caring person, but when I step onto the field, I want to implement that. I'm going to make something happen. I'm going to play with aggression, I'm going to play with passion, and I'm going to do what I need to do. So that other guy does come out, turn into a mean, nasty football player, like that's what you need, and that's what it takes. Like, you can't go play football and expect not to be aggressive or physical. Like, you can get your ass beat. So obviously you need to, especially in the trenches. Like, maybe a skill position, you could be pretty boy and cute and do all that shit, but in the trenches, like, you need to, it's a very aggressive game. You got to be prepared for that.
We got fans wanting to buy you a Xbox here. Do you have the new Xbox?
I do not have the new Xbox.
Oh, well, Dustin Combs, I know this dude. He's one of our patrons. This guy's like a patron saint. He's a military cat, and he wants to buy you an Xbox, whatever it is, the X Series.
Series X.
I'm Team PS.
Series X. Series X.
Let's make it happen.
Okay, you can accept gifts now, right? Because you're done. So Dustin, reach out to us.
Naquan, we're serious. Serious. We'll make this happen. If you give it the go, we'll go forward with it.
It's all up to you.
I need a new Xbox.
There you go.
I will.
You guys getting love from our fans.
I will set it up, and I will talk. Dustin's literally texting me right now. He said it'll take a couple of days, but I have your number, and I will text you, and we're gonna set you up, man.
I'm just sending you
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm sending you a T-shirt. He's sending you an Xbox. I'm sending you a TTNL T-shirt, swag, and Dustin's beating us. But
it's a late birthday gift.
There you go. When's your birthday?
February 5th.
February. Happy birthday to you. How old are you now? 22? 22? 23. In that Devin Hester mark.
Yes,
PFF says Shakir Brown's pro comp is Jalen Johnson. Do you agree with this, Naquan? Shakur Brown? Shakur. There you go. Tupac Shakur, right? That's what he's named after. Are you a Pac fan or Biggie? Biggie or Pac? Give me a.
I can say I have respect for both. Honestly, they're two legends.
You had to choose. I got gun to your head. Let's go.
I'd probably say Biggie. I listen to Biggie more than I listen to Tupac.
This guy's on Team Phil. Back on Team Phil. I'm gonna let the Xbox. Dustin Combs taking care of our boy. Anyway, answer my boy Adeptus Serpentis. He must be Greek. You got to give me that. Adeptus Serpentis. That sounds like a Greek name, but yes, Mr. Shakur Brown. Is he the real deal in your eyes?
He's absolutely real deal. He's a ball hawk. He's going to make plays, and he's going to be accountable. When you need a play made in the back end, he'll be there to make a play. He is very. I mean, I was on the field with him, but he's still very fun to watch. That stands out. Obviously, his PFF grade isn't what it is for no reason. He's out there making it happen.
You're out here making it happen on this show. I tell you that. People are falling in love. This guy's getting Xboxes.
So Naquan, Naquan, I'm in the front office of an NFL team, and you and I are on a Zoom call right now, and I'm going to remove the weight loss and all of that talk from this conversation, and I'm going to ask you specifically, what are the negatives in your game that you need to focus on to be a better football player?
Okay, and the answer for that would just be, working on my consistency. Just obviously I've made some really good plays, and I just need to be able to keep that up. I can't have a game where I'm here and then a game where I'm here. I need to be more consistent, and I've always felt like that was something I could improve on, throughout my career. In my senior year, I really focused on that, and I was pretty, I would say I was a lot more consistent my senior year than my junior year. Like in that year, you notice such a big difference. Just staying focused, and I could just say, just consistency is the main thing for me.
Well, the talent you have, man, I'm excited for you because I think your mom looking down on you knew. I'm serious. I'm a big spiritual person. If you haven't noticed, I have a lot of fucking passion and pride. I don't go to church. This is my church, football.
Yeah.
Chicago Bears. But I just feel like if you do this, you're going to do it. You know, she wants you to do it. You got to do it. You took everybody on this journey. People have fallen in love with you in the chat room. No joke. And right now, the city of Chicago is up in arms because of the collaboration crew up in Hallis Hall. Have you heard anything about that?
I have not.
No, you're going to stay out of that. And I'm going to keep you out of that mess because I don't want to mess up anybody's feelings. So people are, Phil, you didn't ask him what he thought. This guy's about to go to the next level. So I want every team opportunity. I don't want him caught. So I'm keeping it 100 with the fans, buying Xboxes, T-shirts, falling in love with Naquan Jones. I'm not going to ask him about the shitty Bears situation right now because trust me, we're going to get down.
I do know what you're talking about. I would just keep that one to myself.
Yeah. Keep that to yourself.
Smart move.
I'm looking out for you.
You love all 32 teams equally right now, Naquan.
Yes.
Correct.
It's okay as a child that you loved Barry Sanders and Randy Moss. I could see you as a young buck. Randy Moss skying up. Hey, that's
oh yeah. I mean, I wasn't always a D tackle. I jumped around. I played some running back, played some tight end. I thought I was.
I saw you in a jersey number 34. I saw him. I'm like, you must have been a little running back when he was little.
Yeah, I had number 13 and number 58. I was 87. I was jumping around. I thought I was doing a little bit of everything.
What? Why did you take 93?
That was just the number that was given to me.
Are you a numbers guy? Like, are you big believer? No, you could wear anything.
Yeah, it more represents the name on the back than the number, you know. So, and the name on the front.
Real quick, who is the best football player that you've ever played with? And we're like, whoa, this guy. And keep it 100. It could be any team against an opponent. I want to know, in your eye, your scouting eye, like you were just blown away by this football player.
Quentin Nelson. That's a no-brainer. You could tell that, you know, the year we played him, he was already ready to be in the NFL. It was just a guy that took away everything that you wanted to do. He was just there. Like, you thought you were making a move, and he's just sitting right there. And I'm like, you know what? I've gone against some good guys in practice and obviously, you know, throughout the season, but I've never played anyone that was, you know, that good at football. You know, like you play against some real athletic guys, but he was a guy that was very powerful and just good at football.
Couldn't have said it any better. Go ahead, Shayne.
So draft day comes around, Naquan, and Green Bay Packers are on the clock and they call you and they draft you. We're going to be happy for you, but you got to take 10 seconds out of your happiness and be like, oh man, Shayne and Phil and the Tape Never Lies Network are going to fucking kill me right now.
I'm going to get a half and half Bears and Green Bay.
There you go. That's usually what happens. The guys that Phil and I start to study and we're become big fans of, they end up on the wrong side, on the wrong team for us. But
we're all going either to the Packers or the fucking Vikings. So I don't want to put that jinx on.
I'll put a bear sticker on the Xbox.
There you go.
I'll just put a bear sticker.
The only thing we ask is you rock our swag that we give you. You got to give us a little picture as you walk out onto the practice field. I see big things for you. You're a tremendous person, number one, with character.
Thank
your
you.
Story. That's the truth. I don't blow smoke here, as Shayne would say. If you were Charles Leno, we'd be having a discussion right now. I'm serious about his play, and I would challenge him about his weight. But you have done the work. You got a big pro day coming up on March 24th. Your goals are there. It's Bears fan, 100 crew fans, TTNL fans. Put out good energy on that day for our guy, Naquan Jones. That's going to be huge. And then, Shayne, a couple more questions, and then we'll let you go. I got one favor for you before we wrap up. But I got this question: Marvel or DC? We always ask players, are you a big fan of Marvel or DC? You already answered Biggie correct, so let's see if you could come through here.
I'm huge on Marvel. I
There
watched
you go.
all the I watched all like the Avenger movies, and I'm not really big on movies, but those for some reason, they're very interesting. I'm big on Marvel. I watched it might have been Marvel versus DC actually, that movie.
Yeah.
But I didn't really, I don't like DC that much for some reason. I'm more just like a Marvel guy.
I'm with you. We're step for step. You've lost me on Xbox. You came back with Biggie and Marvel.
Yes,
we got
sir.
a new question here. Well, two.
Okay.
What's your favorite Rocky movie?
Uh-oh.
Do you have a
My
favorite?
favorite Rocky movie.
Yes.
You guys aren't gonna like this, but I don't think I've watched an entire Rocky
Oh
movie.
my
through.
God.
Naquan. All right, you can go to Green Bay. See you later, man. Correct answer is Rocky 4, Naquan.
Rocky 3.
Rocky 4? Rocky 3.
Rocky 3 is
He
me.
fights the Russian in Rocky 4.
He likes the Russian. I like Mr. T. When
Okay.
Mr. T kills Mickey. I don't want to spoil it for you. You got to watch it now. So after you get drafted, you're going to come back. You've watched all the Rockies at that point. You'll be fresh, too. You'll be like, I'm ready, because no one likes Rocky 5. And then they had the Creed
How many
movies.
are there?
There's 5, but then you had the Creed movies. Because they had that.
6.
There's 6. That's right, 6. They had that dumb one. What was 6? That's when he came back.
It's called Rocky Balboa, yeah.
Yeah, that was Balboa. Just Balboa.
I gotta check. I promise
You
you
have
guys,
to watch Rocky, man.
I don't watch much TV.
I can hear
watch
Chris
the same
Tucker's
show.
voice. Come on, man.
I watch the same show like every day. I promise.
What show is that?
The Sopranos. That's the best
Oh,
show.
there you go, man. Best show ever.
Best show ever.
You can bag on Phil for that because he just started watching it. Like a year ago, he just started watching it.
I'm Italian. I'm half. I'm Sicilian.
So I got to ask you, Naquan, what did you think of the finale of Sopranos?
Yeah, what'd you think? Don't spoil it, but what?
Horrible, but
yeah, I agree.
I probably watched it through maybe 4 times, and I just finished watching it again last week, and I knew what was going to happen in the finale, and I
still pisses you off.
Still pisses me off every time.
You still think you lost power, right?
I thought my phone or something. What happened? Did the power go out? I was so bugged out. I'm not going to spoil it, but you're getting more fans with that one. Your last question, and then your favor. Unless, Shayne, you have another question.
Oh, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Claudio, the barber, we haven't brought him in yet. My question, though, this is huge. You got to come up big here. I'm praying he gets this right.
Yeah.
Die Hard. Have you ever seen it? Die
No.
Hard. Okay. Then I can't ask the question if it was a Christmas movie or not. That's our new question to every person. Now, you got another assignment because you're going to be busy. You're working on your body. You're hanging out.
Right.
Instead of picking up the joystick, you got to watch the Rockies. If you love The Sopranos, when Rocky is running through the streets and he's like, yo, I mean, you're going to be like, I love this shit. If you love The Sopranos, you're going to love Rocky. So,
yeah,
all right,
I'll definitely give it a watch.
Let us know the next time we have you on after you get drafted. Even if it's by the Packers, we're still going to love you. That's your family now. Claudia, you had a question for him?
No, I think he doesn't watch a lot of movies because he just watches the tape. That's it. He
there
watches
you
tape.
go.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
There you go, boy. There you go, man.
Yes.
What up, bro?
What's
if you
going
come
on?
to Connecticut,
You can use that for your next Zoom call with the team. When they say, what's your favorite movie? Say, I just watched tape, man.
Watched tape. Shayne and Phil, too.
Tape never lies. That's what you tell them.
Just tell them, tape never lies. Listen, last thing then, a favor. We ask every guest to do a station ID. I'm going to try to make the script so simple. This is Naquan Jones, defensive tackle, Michigan State. I'm keeping it 100 with Shayne and Phil on the Tape Never Lies Network. Our names will be right there, so you won't even forget us.
Everybody that we interviewed from Michigan State and Ohio State did it in one take, Naquan. So
Michigan,
there's no pressure
Michigan,
at all.
you mean?
Yeah, from Michigan.
Wolverines and Buckeyes have gone in one take. You want me to give you the script again?
I think I got it.
Okay. I can count you down.
Let me hear it one more time.
All right. First, you're going to talk about you. Very easy. Yo, this is Naquan Jones from defensive tackle, however you want to say, number 93 in Michigan State. And I'm keeping it 100. I'm breaking it up for you on the Tape Never Lies Network. You don't even have to say Phil and Shayne. You'll just keep it like that.
I got
Okay?
you.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
I saw him. There he is.
Yeah. All right. It's Naquan Jones, number 93 from Michigan State. I'm keeping it 100 with Phil and Shayne on damn. I messed it up.
We can edit it.
I can edit it.
Just say that the Tape Never Lies Network.
On the Tape Never Lies. Yeah, okay. On the Tape Never Lies Network.
That'll work.
Say it with passion. Give me a point. This is your. There you go. Go ahead.
On the Tape Never Lies Network. Go green.
There you go. I cut them off.
I added that.
You added go green and I cut you off, but I'll try to fix it. You are amazing. Honestly, great stuff tonight. Truly appreciate you. Shayne, we enjoyed this interview. The fans
100%.
did. Everyone's loving you. We'll get you the Xbox.
Yeah, I'm setting that right up. It's actually going to be delivered to you from LA.
Wow.
I'll set everything up with you, Naquan. It's going to take a few days to secure it. The guy that I was just talking to, but this is happening, man. So
I appreciate
we'll get you. We'll
Thank
get
you
you
guys
in.
so much.
Yeah. So
thank you.
Appreciate you. Hey, good luck on the 24th. You're gonna expect a text from me on the 24th, man, because we want those numbers, and we're all gonna be rooting for you here for sure.
Got you. Thank you guys so much for having me on the show.
Give him a follow on the Twitter right there.
Yes,
and
sir.
let him know you saw him on the show. And follow me, Naquan. Follow me back on Insta. I've been tagging you in that stuff. I'd love to keep in touch with you, man. I'm really pulling for you. All right?
Yes, sir.
God bless you. All the best.
sir.
Good luck on the 24th. What a great dude.
Awesome. Yes. You love his, again, second straight guest, man. Ton of passion. Fit what we do here. And you're absolutely rooting for a kid like that to, do the best in his pro day. And like you said, I respect it so much where he's not afraid to talk about where he came from and to say that, I came into college with the wrong attitude and I've worked on it. And that says a lot about where he came from. Like you said, with his mom and his grandmother and what he's doing moving forward. It says so much, and it's very, very impressive. And no matter where he ends up, no matter where he ends up, man, he's got a bunch of fans in us and the 100 crew for sure.
The maturity, the passion, and the ability to be vulnerable.
Yep.
When you see in this world, it's hard to have people that are built on character. It's hard for me to bring up his mom, but the reality is it's the foundation of who this man is and is going to be. And I felt so connected to him as a football player. I don't know how anybody can listen to this show or download this show, listening to it, and not be a fan of Naquan Jones because of the person he is in the journey. And if you're vulnerable enough, and we've had to do this ourselves, both of us, and making mistakes in our lives as fathers or in social media or whatever we did. I've had to own some issues that I've made. When you're vulnerable and you accept those, there's going to be assholes out there that are going to hate on Naquan because he had 3 sacks, and they'll run with that narrative.
Yeah.
You look at the tape and you look at his journey, and he comes on here and he's so truthful. Then that's the showcase for NFL teams. This guy's going to come in here, he's going to bust his ass, and he's going to be one of those players that is the foundation. Not only his mom being the foundation for him, but he becomes the foundation of your football team. He becomes the guy that's willing to help the young kid that has all that talent transfer it to the NFL. So gotta love him. Make sure we get his address.
Yep, I just texted him right now. And huge props to Dustin. I mean, stepping up. Oh my
God, Dustin
doing that's.
I'm bringing Dustin on next week.
Oh yeah,
remember he
he deserves it.
Antoine Lee's
who's
looking for a kidney. He's paid for his patronage. This is a guy that is just
very gracious. Yeah, we're all thankful for his service and what he's doing. That's amazing what he's offering up to Naquan. And I'm sure Naquan's pretty excited, and I know I texted him, and I'm sure he's gonna be real excited.
It's like, I went on a show.
Yeah,
I was tired, and now I got an Xbox.
Nerd alert!
Oh yes, nerd alert. What? Where is this guy? Is he around? Cherie and Jeff, their ears just perked up when they hear that. Where is his intro, Shayne?
He's back.
There he is.
Hey, another suspension down, so we're 2 for 2 now. Things are going well, and good evening, everybody.
You missed the firework. You missed the free Xbox portion of the show, Cars.
Oh yeah, Cars.
I'm sorry, the Xbox is dead to me. So
we're sitting here interviewing Naquan Jones, and one of the 100 crew steps up and found out that Naquan is Team Xbox and is purchasing him a Series X.
Wow, that's awfully impressive. Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah, Claudio ain't getting shit, but
just getting shit on.
I need a new computer, I think. Right? I think I need to upgrade my Apple.
You got that paperweight? Use that.
Cars, what up, bro?
Hey, I'm ready to talk about the rudderless team with the soulless quarterback. Let's get this going. Yeah,
we've been defending Andy Dalton.
We've defended Andy. I don't like the energy of just destroying this guy before he's taking a snap.
It might be minor, but he's an upgrade over what we've had. And yeah, it's not the home run, but my God, I felt like so many people died yesterday, and literally like people changing their avatars to other team logos yesterday because they were so over it. And look, I get it. It is what it is, but you couldn't go. I don't think any of us wanted us to go in with Nick Foles as the unquestioned starter. So. You had to do something. Was it Russell Wilson or Watson? No. Do I think those are out? Absolutely not. The way that everything's going super well in Houston right now.
Oh my God.
So yeah, no, like I'm not totally against the Dalton move. I think this team is is going to kind of stagnate a little bit. I think he adds some things to the offense as far as deep passing. But
how nice will that be?
It'll be nice to see the vertical passing game for sure. We'll see. How ironic would it be that we shit all over this guy and then he sets the record for like first 4,000-yard passer in Chicago Bears season? I'm not saying, or first 30 touchdown passer. Not saying it's going to happen, but I think the irony would be totally make this 16 or 17 game season worthwhile.
Well, speaking of the vertical game, I mean, you guys think we're going to go after a receiver that's still around? I mean, Galladay, right? Galladay hasn't been picked up, right?
Galladay's probably going to
Marvin Jones.
Marvin Jones signed with.
Oh, did he sign?
Yeah, the Jaguars.
The Jags. And Galladay is supposedly choosing between the Bengals and the Giants right now.
But do you guys think we're going to try to maybe pick up a free agent receiver?
Well, I think you're trading Anthony Miller. You heard that kind of leak out.
You're going to be lucky to get a 5. out of that, I think.
Well, could it be for another player? You know what I'm saying?
They've supposedly checked in on Will Fuller, right? And,
yeah, that was out there. Yep.
And
that's a speed guy, opposite a speed guy. So I
it looks like they're trying to change a little bit of what they're looking for. You know, we've often heard about John Ross, right, as a guy he signed. Oh, did he?
The Giants.
I guess I missed that.
Giants signed him to a 1-year deal. Yeah.
And so did the kid Brown, right?
Yeah, John Brown signed with the Raiders, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect Raider, right? I mean, the perfect.
Jeez, Kansas City sniffing around Zach Ertz to pair with.
No, Zach Ertz got traded. To Buffalo Bills.
That was a fake account.
Oh, really?
That was a fake account. Yeah, we were talking last night.
I would like to see the Bears involved with Ertz.
I don't know what Kansas City's doing. It's pretty fascinating overall to cut both of your tackles and then go with Tooney and Kyle Long at the guard position.
They might put Kyle Long at tackle.
I would really worry about his mobility with the way his lower legs and stuff.
Apparently, fucking been training his ass off. I don't know.
I'll always root for the guy, right? Like he's always going to be.
Should have been a tackle when he was here. That's what they should have fucking just put him there, and you got. Absolutely. He would have been. His injuries wouldn't have happened. He would have been he'd still be playing left tackle. He was so talented. It's so this.
Well, when you have Jordan Mills, Phil, Jordan Mills,
oh my God,
you can't take a talent like that and send it to the bench.
They can't figure this.
God, that is terrifying.
I love this.
That is so terrifying.
I don't even think Ted has that much rhythm.
Oh God, no. No, he's the guy that is like stomping.
He's like
Angelo Marino from Wallingford, Connecticut.
He's got some rhythm, that dude right there.
Angelo actually has more rhythm than Ted Phillips. I'm gonna say that right.
That's a low bar. I mean, that is a very low bar.
But I really believe in the truth of that.
Big plays are nice.
I know, Matt. They are nice. Shayne, should I put this up a little? Should we watch a little tape of Andy Dalton?
But real quick though, we gotta share some. I don't think I took him down, did I?
We got some.
So cars, we did some advertise. We have Manscaped. We are. What's the word I'm looking for?
I've had
We're sponsored by Manscaped.
Sponsored.
Throw that banner up real quick.
By Manscaped, Claudio. Let's see if our producer can do it. Can he handle this job?
Yeah.
The Lawnmower 3.0. No, that's
TTNL flag.
That's not me.
There it is. So
there you
cars,
go,
if you're into some personal grooming, which we know that we've heard stories that you definitely need some work on. The family jewels. You have the expanding family, so you wanna keep shit tight.
So my wife literally just texted me and said, "You are the poster child for manscaping." So thank you to my wife.
It might be somebody else that's the poster child.
Yes, we do have a new poster child for manscaping, and he did use our 20% off code. If you want to throw that up there again, real quick, Jackal or Claudio, there it is.
What did you say about collaboration?
For 20% off, and we have some before and after pictures of your best friend, Cars.
Oh, Cars.
One Mr. Gregory Braggs got a Lawnmower 3.0, and we have some before photos here of him before he got the Lawnmower 3.0. And then here is the after to show how much it works. Look at the transition.
Smooth. Silky smooth.
I'm so glad we've gotten to the point where we can all comfortably talk about shaving our balls on a podcast.
We've been
big
very comfortable here on this network.
Keep it 100. You got to keep it 100.
Yes, it is.
The Tape Never Lies Network. The Tape Never Lies Network. Draft Dr. Phil and Shayne, the smartest man. They keep it 100 and they bring it to you. Yeah, right here on social media. The best Chicago Bears show going. For Bears coverage, Bears film work, Bear interviews, free agent frenzy coverage, the draft coverage coming up pretty soon. The Tape Never Lies Network is the place to be.
Look at that. Is he bringing hype, Shayne, or what?
Oh.
Have you seen hype like that?
He is no. He is the hype man.
He is coming on the show.
He's the best hype man we've ever had on this show.
He brings the hype.
I don't see any cardboard cutouts, so I'm not exactly sure. I don't see any Angelina Jolie. Yeah, so
he does
cardboard
not have
cutouts.
Yes.
Terrible.
Wait a sec. So next week, Funkster Jones is going to come on the show. Angelo, our guy, we gave him the title, the hype man. I guess Shayne is bad cop. We did it too early.
Gangsters, what's up, guys?
Yeah, we get it too early, guys. So next week, Funkster Jones, who's obviously he's doing that on his own, Shayne. No, you didn't write that script. He just did that out there.
Yep, and we didn't have to pull teeth. There was
didn't have to pull any teeth. There was no
strippers involved.
I feel like some shots are being taken right now. I'm not exactly sure. This feels. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Breaking news. The Tape Never Lies Network. Breaking news.
Who's that guy?
Oh, who's that guy?
The best eyebrows in town.
Him and Shayne have the same eyebrows.
No.
The Aladdin swoops.
I think we have to have a fan poll. Who has the baddest eyebrows? Dalton?
We get a picture of him straight up. I think I have one on my desktop. Hold on. Maybe I could find and upload it real quick. But yeah, look at that.
Singing, we will rock you.
Look at that. We got some good production going on with Claudio and Jackal.
Hey, you're welcome.
You guys are doing such a great job. That was a perfectly timed Andy Dalton. We will rock you.
Absolutely.
We're pulling for Andy Dalton here. And those of you ready to come on here ripping Andy Dalton, this isn't what we're going to do. We're actually recognizing the talent and the upgrade and the reality of this. Let's Shayne, are you ready? We could do it now. Do a little film room. This Saturday, my father and me, X's with the O's, become a patron. Sign up at thetapeneverlies.com. That's www.thetapeneverlies.com. Sign up, become a patron. This is going to be a patron-only show. We'll be breaking down Andy Dalton live. We might have Barlissimo jump on with us. We will see. Just a little film room here. Tape Never Lies. Keeping it 100. And I'm going to have my boys with me here. Here's Andy Dalton in the shotgun. You see Draft Dr. Phil pulling it backwards and forward. We're going to pause right there. This is a pocket. Look at where the ball is, Shayne. Nice, high and tight.
Look at the left tackle blocking.
Yeah, we're not used to that. But there's going to be a free run. The guard was trying to block out.
Watch deep ball down the sideline, inbounds too. Amazing.
That could be Mooney.
The NFL.
Make that an 11. That could be Mooney right there.
That is a dime ball. The interference is occurring. Look where the ball is dropped in. Again, we're going to have the coaches tape this Saturday. You see the patented TTNL swipe. Here he is. Dash pass, Shayne. Dash pass. You're moving to your left. Look at the receiver, guys, in the route. I don't have Barlissimo's lines and angles, but I can certainly show you the receiver Cars is not looking, but he's past the sticks. This is dash pass. The running back is going to chop that last man on the line. You see the left tackle. The defender is coming in his face. He's able to move to the left and anticipate the route. He puts it out there over the top. That's what I want to see out of a quarterback in a dash pass. You saw this play called 101 times. Now, a pocket that's it's not clean. It's going to be tight. Where does he go? Does he escape? No. I look at him. I'm like, wow, this guy's standing in. Rewind it a little bit. Live, Andy Dalton film. Pocket is busy, as I would say. There's a busy pocket. He's standing in there and delivering over the middle. Watch it here. 1, 2, 3. Deliver over the top. Get it to your playmaker. Playmaker makes first down. Shayne's boy, Amari Cooper. Here he is. Blitz is coming. Do you see him get nervous? Throwing on third down to the sticks. Watch it here. Just a little taste of Andy Dalton.
The footwork is so nice to see, right? Like it's consistent and shorter hops, so his feet are always under control, right? During this, like
Look
not
at
the
that.
big ones.
Plants to Carr's point. He plants. Let's watch him here. Watch his footwork as Cars is pointing it out. Dropping back. 1, 2, 3. Plants. Shuffles up in the pocket. He knows it's a big down here. Gets it to the right spot. The tape never lies. Tape never lies. So there you go. This Saturday, we're going to be breaking down Andy Dalton with all the coaches' clickers. But there, Cars, just looking at that, you see some of the things that you've been very critical, as well as everybody on the panel here, of Mitch Trubisky. You saw the deep ball. You saw the busy pocket. And you saw the footwork there. Again, just 2 game cuts that I just wanted to put up here tonight as the Bears have made a decision, one with which they tried to get Russell Wilson. We said it, though. We're not going to give Ryan Pace that glory that you tried.
Yeah, we're not going to give credit for that, Phil. But like I said, I think Cars is on it. You and I talked. I don't think this is over.
We talked about it earlier. I even gave Claudio Mikey A scenario that I said, hey, the Bears trade up, they land Seattle's guy, they trade. I really think Schefter, knowing Pete Carroll, wanting they like Andy Dalton, so that's an established level. But they probably want a young signal caller, wouldn't you? With no picks, you get the 20th pick, but you're still concerned. Is your guy going to be on the board? So if you trade now, the propensity is you're showing your hand to Seattle. You're the 20th. So if you allow the Bears, if you get this guy on the board, then we're talking trade. I could still see, like I said to Mikey A, you guys on board with that? I believe Shayne, we didn't even discuss this, Shayne, before the show. So are you on board with that? Could possibly go down. We keep that option open before.
Absolutely.
Eric Lampert writes about it tomorrow.
He's getting beat up pretty good on Twitter tonight by some of the big boys. Yeah, Jack Silverstein called him out and for stealing work, which hey, we love seeing. We love seeing that.
Greg Braggs, your favorite guy, Cars, has always mentioned Silverstein should come on here.
But in terms of the getting back to the Russell Wilson stuff,
yeah,
to me, Phil, it just makes sense because if this happens on draft day and we know it here, you can add even another first rounder to the kitty if you need to on draft day while you're on the clock. I mean, you can extend it more. I don't think they're going to do the 4 because I mean, if
Seattle needs picks now.
Yeah,
they have 4 picks in this draft, right?
Yep.
So adding a first doesn't help them. And if you look at them after this season, there's 21 guys on that team under contract.
Yeah,
and if they keep Wilson, it's him. What is it? The one linebacker, and then their third highest paid guy is their kicker at $5 million a year, right? So it's not even good 21 bodies.
Right.
They're in rebuild and don't have the picks for it.
Right. And Mikey talked about it too. Is they're a team that doesn't value first round draft picks. I mean, you're giving up multiple first rounders for a strong safety. You want to bag on Ryan Pace, let that settle in. You imagine
2 first-round picks for a strong safety, I would lose my mind.
Who's their best pass rusher at that, too, right? Like, how crazy is that? They had to use him to generate a pass rush because the rest of their draft picks. I said this on Twitter. Like, this guy is Schneider is really like Jerry Angelo. He's living off his early drafts.
Yeah.
He has not done well ever since. It has been really hit or miss. His big move to go get Clowney, that was a big miss.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I forgot about that.
All his subsequent moves after those early drafts have been really pretty big failures, and no team has really done as poorly as them at the end of the first round, right? I understand it's a crapshoot, but name first round picks that have really hit for them.
I mean,
they're not there.
They drafted Penny, the running back. I mean, we were talking about him third round,
day.
maybe. Yeah, maybe, and they're drafting him at number 30.
Maron.
Yeah, it's I'd lose my shit, but no, the Bears, it helps, and Seattle values later round picks. That's what they find their guy. They've always been they've always been a team that goes off course. But I mean, I think that you could see this expanded. You can see Allen Robinson flipped for a pick.
I think Nick Foles is in play for a pick now, right? Where the Bears are now is they're looking to acquire draft capital so that if a player becomes available or one of the rookies is still out there, that they're going to have a lot of picks to go through and throw this. They're in acquisition of pick mode, not necessarily player mode. And I think we're going to see that continue to play out here. So Foles, Allen, Kyle Fuller, all these guys are probably available for picks so that they can make a run at anybody that becomes available.
That's a great point by Rel Remy, our boy. He does, and that's really why this network was so hyped up about the clear, obvious thing that the Bears were involved. A lot of people are like, oh, they're never going to get him. Well, it was very close. It came down to the dictator and Pete Carroll deciding, because
I'm not even sure if it's that, Phil. I think this is a big poker game, and they know they could have very well left Fargo and said, listen,
who are the two guys? Who do you believe the two Bears starters, the unnamed players are? Is Roquan, is everybody's unanimous on this panel?
No, I would probably say it's Jalen because especially of losing Griffin at this point in time.
So Jalen is
for sure one. And then I don't think there would be someone else. I don't think Roquan is part of this because the way that the team is constructed now.
David Montgomery.
David Montgomery would probably be the other one. That would probably make a lot of sense.
Die a million deaths, but it would be hard. But you got to get him. You got to get him.
Listen, I love David Montgomery too. That can't be a roadblock in consummating this trade. I'm sorry. You just can't do it.
But I think this isn't dead. There's no coming back to me from what's been said. From Russ throwing his linemen under the bus to the reports of Carroll saying that it was Russell Wilson's interceptions that were impacting the offense, right? And there's too much that's been said. There's too many egos involved. At some point during this season, whether it's before the draft or after, he's getting moved. Like this is
tweet here. Someone check. Is Jackal checking this tweet? Marcos is telling us. Someone check Hicks' tweet.
I'm looking right now.
This guy, Harrison Graham, reported Fuller and Mack.
No, dude, they can't do Mack.
No, I agree. I don't think it would ever.
He just restructured, and I mean,
NBC is saying it was Hicks and Mack. Laz is
for the first time in my life, I looked at the GPS and said, yeah, it's going to take the whole time. And he just said, I'm just going somewhere. So I think that's nothing.
So
yeah,
you don't think he's meaning that he was a part of that trade?
No.
Hicks' Twitter is silent, Jackal is saying from the background.
But listen, Cars, they can't trade financially Mac.
No, that he's not part of this deal.
Yeah, there's no way, because I mean his cap, what is it? His cap number next year is like, was it 33? Something like that?
Kyle Fuller has a $20 million cap right now.
Right.
So he couldn't be a part of the trade either, right? Cars?
No, because he doesn't have any future. The problem with Mac is that his future cap hits.
Plus, he just restructured future cap hits. He's definitely not in it.
Yeah, and then your
Whitehair's not in it. Eddie Jackson's not in it. Because that was a speculation of Eddie and Jamal together.
It could be. Listen, I think you're talking about. I think you're talking about a guy like nobody's brought the name up. James Daniels could be in play.
Bilal Nichols.
Bilal Nichols could be in play.
Bilal Nichols was the guy that I think would have been in play, but we're
I don't
doing
think it's
it.
an offensive lineman, but
the deal's dead anyway. Is what
for
they're
now.
saying.
I don't. It's
this
not,
is what he's saying is just for now, James.
Yeah,
that's what
which
Cars
means it's
came
not
on
dead.
here.
It's not dead, right? Nothing in the NFL is dead. This is moving the same way that Cutler from Denver moved, the same way that Mac from Oakland moved, right? Like these things are slow moving pieces, but when it hits this level of unhappy, and make no mistake about it, with the finger pointing between the coach and the quarterback, there's a lot of unhappy now.
And let's not undersell this part. He's got a no trade clause, and Chicago has been named.
Get your mouth shut, jerk.
Don't know what that was.
I'll shut my mouth. Fine. Jeez.
That's the only thing I don't like sharing. When you share it, it automatically puts it up. It should allow it to be sat down there.
What do you think you're getting for Foles? A sixth?
I still think you could probably pull a fourth or fifth.
I think you can get a fourth or fifth too. That's where I would.
He's got a good deal for a backup quarterback, right? His salary isn't bad.
So,
he's a great spot starter, right?
Albright has mentioned Denver multiple times for Foles.
DM me if you want a TTNL avatar, Dustin. You've earned
Locke needs some help in the locker room, right? And Locke needs some help, and so that would be a steadying force for him. I think they're still trying to decide whether they're all in on Drew Locke or not. So it would make sense for them to.
There is a rumor out there that the two teams that Deshaun Watson wants to play for is Denver or San Francisco.
That Albright shot that down.
Oh, did he?
So he said that is not true.
Can we reach out to Ben and bring him on the show? That would be nice. That would be fun to bring him back. We spoke.
And if I had access to my other Twitter where he followed me on, but I don't have access.
The Shayne update to your Twitter account is still
suspended.
I
don't think I'm ever getting it back at this point.
It's amazing how they could pick and choose how.
February 22nd, I think, was when they took it down, and I think it is what it is at this point. But whatever.
So, guys, I saw some. that was quick, bro. You were just waiting.
Shayne does not.
Itchy trigger finger.
No, I stepped into it. Phil's asking me questions. I mean,
oh my god.
Claudio was about to speak.
I was just gonna speak for the fans here. They're asking, are you guys surprised Mitch hasn't been picked up yet?
No.
Oh god. I'm gonna go to the bathroom and allow these two to talk about this real quick. I'm gonna take down these avatars. This is a live show. Live.
The truthers are all humping their pillows right now, hate fucking it because Mitch is still a free agent, and it says a lot. Jacoby Brissett you saw exactly. Andy Dalton was the placeholder for the rest of the quarterbacks. You saw how he signed, then you saw Tyrod Taylor get announced, then you saw Jacoby Brissett get announced. Ryan Fitzpatrick was the night before. Supposedly the Bears were involved with him. I guess the Bears did a look-see with Jameis Winston, but it says a lot about, listen, the kid's 26. He's going to be 27 years old. If the NFL believed wholeheartedly that
the issue was Matt Nagy,
100%, yeah, and there's so much there with Mitch. He's got the talent, but people that are just assuming Super Bowls when he gets away from Matt Nagy are so misguided and just fucking crazy at this point. I mean, Mitch the person is a
49ers brought up, right? And everyone's like the 49ers because Shanahan. He can't go out and beat Jimmy Garoppolo, who the 49ers want to replace anyway, right? The biggest problem for Mitch is between left ear and right ear, right? That is where his NFL issues rely. And to Shayne, to your point, the issue was just mechanics. Some team would have signed him to a Cam Newton-like incentive-laden deal at 1 year for $14 million and been laughing to the bank. But Dwayne Haskins, who went out and partied in a COVID era and lost his job, has a job, and Mitch doesn't. That tells you where he stands.
Marcos wants this answered. In 2018, Mitch lost 3 games due to a kicker. That means he would be 15-2. 15 games, and you're telling me he's bad? Okay, he had a good D, but come on, dog. So, well, I guess what I would ask you first off, Marcos, is what year is it right now? I'll answer for you. It's 2021. This isn't about 2018. Did you see what happened in 2019? The Bears gave Mitch all the fucking rope that they could give him to get out of the
begged him to take it. They begged him to take it.
Exactly. And it's not just bagging on Mitch. We've brought this up forever. You can see Mitch. Phil and I have talked about taking a different approach with some of these quarterbacks, and whatever, we'll announce it here. Just the tape analysis. I want to sit down and study some of these guys when they're at the fucking podium, because you can pick up on things. Not a lot of people are doing that. You watch these guys. It tells you.
You picked it up right away with.
It takes you into their psyche. Yeah,
everybody said it right away.
It takes you into their psyche, but I'm not worried about what Mitch's record was as a quarterback in 2018. If you watch the tape and look at it without Mitch-colored glasses on, you see the flaw. Go back to draft day.
If he was playing for Minnesota or Detroit, we would be laughing every time we laugh at Kirk Cousins, and Mitch isn't on his level, right? We would kill any other team in our division if that's who trotted out. We would have our own defensive back saying things like Amos said in the Packers, that in the end, we wanted to make Mitch Trubisky throw the ball and be a quarterback. Like, nobody believes in this guy in the NFL. Super nice guy, tries hard, wants to be good, can't. Left ear and right ear, everything in between there has ruined it for him.
So I think I got to say that I've never, ever shied away, like I said with Cap last week. The coach, 70% is at fault. 30%, yes, I'm Mitch. There's talent there. The coach decided to put Mitch in an offense in situations. Listen, the left tackle, no one's held accountable. We all know this guy. I know, Cars, you liked Matt Nagy. There's things to like about him. But then even you have come around to see the deficiencies with accountability. His culture wins in the locker room and not on the football field. And unfortunately, the B-Shoe campaign, the things that we've come up with on this network, the Walrus, B-Shoe, all of that shit is hitting everywhere now. And the reality is, these guys are right. As I watch the tape, the personality of the quarterback's confidence just destroyed. It's destroyed. So you could say what it is you want about Mitch. I'm keeping it 100 based on the tape. We can't have these emotional moments with Naquan, then come on here about Mitch and skip over the reality. Mitch is at fault just as much. I'm just saying.
Absolutely. Well, Phil, when you stepped out, Marcos is on some weird campaign about ask Phil. The only year that Mitch had a good coach was in 2018. Well, that Matt Nagy was his coach. It's the same fucking guy. I don't know what you're talking about.
Matt Nagy.
And watch the first half of that year and the second half of that year. The first half he was good. Second half,
there is
and there's
a
also
story
a part of the
leaking
NFL
out
catching up to you
about Mitch completely going into a comatose of confidence, and it showed up. I mean, these two guys, my guys here, Cars, and we're not going to agree on everything. Like I said, when we debate, it's real. It's not a script. There's no script here. And the reality was they always said there's something about Mitch. Like, I remember Cars' boy, Greg Braggs, telling me the guys stayed out, signed everybody's autograph, right?
Yep.
But as soon as year 2 went, 2019, after they won, did he stay out and sign everybody's autograph? No, he didn't do it. So what happened? What happened to Mayor Mitch? That stuff really affects players and people and energy. That's why I'm saying the energy about Andy Dalton, you should welcome that guy. It's not his fault that your fucking clown show is above him. He comes in here, like Carr said, I could see it. Andy Dalton comes in here, starts Remember Josh McCown? I swear to God, if we had the old fucking recordings, you would have heard Draft Dr. Phil say, I like that kid. I watched him in the Hartford Colonials. And I'm like, why is it? This guy's better than fucking Caleb Haney ever could be. But this fucking politics and bullshit that go along with contracts and all of that shit, when football matters most, the Chicago Bears are doing what? Condescending. They're fucking taking on Cutler. Someone should have fucking yoked Cutler up and said, get out there and fucking sign every little kid's autograph. Have some class. That'll go a long way. Do you think Cutler's on this show handling Shayne say, that's really amazing that you're able to accept that? No. He made his money and he's like, fuck you.
Yeah, it makes
I stood up for that guy. I stood up for that guy. God,
you almost sank with that ship.
I did. I almost sank because God gave him everything.
People are listen.
Mitch has to freaking decide. There is an issue psychologically.
100%.
That he's admitted that he had to see someone, and that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just saying this city is going to eat you up.
Yeah, right. There's nothing wrong with the person, but this city, these fans will eat you up
right now
if you don't have the right body language, the right confidence, any of that, right? I mean, and that is what Mitch, the stammering in the press conferences, the inability to kind of
turn the TVs off.
To turn the TVs off, the
book
ability
on leadership.
Yeah, reading
you should
all
automatically be a leader as a quarterback.
Phil, that was people fucking bagged on me for focusing on that.
I loved it. I thought you were 100%
when
right.
I heard that, it made my whole entire body cringe because
scripted.
I'm like, dude, it was terrible.
I know what you meant, but no, that you
just shut up, and listen, I don't want to hear that Mitch saved their listen. If you want to really study it, look at you don't think it makes a fucking difference who the Bears played at the end of the fucking year? Come on. You're not being honest. If you want to really fucking break it down, look at the defenses that fucking Nick Foles faced versus who Mitch faced at the end of the year. And you don't think that if it was vice versa, every fucking Mitch Trubisky truther would be saying, you see the defenses that Mitch had to face? Foles got to play against Houston. Foles got to play against Minnesota. That's exactly what would happen. This is what sucks about this fan base. We all want it so bad. We want to believe
excuses.
Exactly. And I've been just as guilty. And they want to fucking hold on to this. I mean, fucking, I think it was Chubbs last year was like, you got to fucking give him his 5th-year option. No, you don't. That makes it worse.
Imagine if they
Can
did.
you? Oh God, can you imagine who we would have to cut this offseason if we were paying Mitch $28 million this year? $28 million would be roughly what his 5th-year option would be. Who's gone? All for that guy to play quarterback. No.
Marcos, don't come on here and spout bullshit, okay? Because it's not the fucking truth. It's not.
We played Tampa
Jesus
with him. We played Indy with Foles. All the top defenses, for the most part, until late in the season, were Foles. And if you look historically, look at Mitch's numbers versus bottom third defenses. They're out his greatest game he ever played was against the 32nd ranked pass defense of the Tampa Bay Bucks. His record
I was at that game.
Yeah, his record and numbers versus mediocre defenses, slightly below average. His record and performance numbers versus top 10 defenses is subpar, is putting it delicately and nicely. Like, those things line up, the tape and the numbers of what you see. He's confident against Detroit because Detroit plays him in a way that he sees multiple times a year, and he knows that they're going to be in basic.
Chris.
He goes against something completely different. He's
that back
in his
up.
own head.
Listen, before you attack Chris Gonzalez,
I'm just saying, come on.
I want you to.
Are you fucking really?
I want to
Chris?
say this,
It's
though.
just fucking, it's ridiculous. Chris is a Mitch guy, and that's fucking fine. But come on, where's that fucking comment?
I don't know. I'm
gonna
looking for
talk
it.
about the- well, let
What's
me
your
say
excuse
this.
for Tom Brady feasting on the AFC East every year? Really? Really? Is that
'Cause
why
he won
Tom
in the
Brady's?
playoffs.
Is that why Tom Brady's a great quarterback?
No,
Exactly.
I agree with you.
Stop.
He has to do it in
It's
the
not a
times.
fucking excuse.
You play who you play, and
Jeez.
then you play your schedule.
Well,
There's
let
no
me-
strength of schedule in April. I fucking
guys-
kill you on that.
I like that line.
So
I
dumb.
like that line.
If Mitch's career fizzles out, right, where
Yeah.
does this decision that Pace made rank in draft decisions in history of the NFL? As
Oh
in,
my God, it's
gotta
one of
be
the
top
biggest,
five, right?
top 5 worst.
I mean,
wonders.
it's worse than the Jamarcus Russell in the
Yes.
sense that everybody that came after Russell was nothing. But the
Great
two guys that
point,
came out
Cars.
of Mitch are going to be Hall of Fame guys.
It's
So-
like
Yeah.
Ryan Leaf over
Ryan Leaf.
no, but
that-
he wasn't taken before. Peyton
Yeah.
Manning.
wasn't.
No.
No,
okay.
Peyton was taken first.
And
But
well,
a lot of
those
people
teams-
thought he
The
should go
separator in the entire thing with Mitch is even if Ryan Pace had Patrick Mahomes, didn't have Deshaun Watson number 2, he had Patrick Mahomes, but he had so much of a separation between Mitch
first. Consensus.
to Mahomes that he gave up 2 threes and a 4th to move up 1 spot to secure him. That's
Shayne, he's got great get off, Shayne.
that's
Look.
where the entire thing falls apart.
And we're fans, right? Like, your first reaction to a text, I remember this because I'm sitting at a wedding rehearsal.
Yeah.
Our first text was like, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. And within 15 minutes, we were talking ourselves
Yeah,
into this
100%.
move because
Yeah.
we're so desperate
for-
for this to be a thing.
For the record, I was going to go back to this moment. I'm going to say this. Everybody had different rankings. None of us, I could say, without Claudio involved, had Mitch Trubisky as the guy. We all were in consensus of them drafting a quarterback at that time, not a safety, and they blundered on it. The fact of the matter is they should have taken somebody else. The funny thing is it was a layup to me on Watson in the same conference in college.
Right.
You have the same defenses that are being played. You had everything lined up and you couldn't see it. But then on top of that is now he comes to the Chicago Bears.
I didn't give Mitch enough praise now, I guess, Chris. come on. It's so funny.
I
It sounds
love
like a
Chris.
6-year-old. Daddy, you didn't love me enough. You love her more than you. It's so fucking pathetic. Bears fans need to learn how to fucking fan. First off. It's so dumb. You want to fucking reform this.
Cut it out, Chris.
The NFL is a pass-fail league.
This is the exact fucking problem, though, Phil. This is the exact fucking problem, though, because Andy Dalton is going to be vilified like he already has been by Bears fans. You know why? Because of people like Chris Gonzalez that is pissed because he's not Mitch. It's so fucking flawed. It's ridiculous. Oh my God.
Shayne gave him credit. The reality.
I give credit where it's fucking due. I'm just not going to suck his dick because I want him to be good. It's so fucking dumb.
Mitch Trubisky, every quarterback before him, fucking Dante Jones and Steve Walsh was his best quarterback. This is how dire this is in regards to this position in Chicago. That's why it's so important that the GM, Claudio, it is in the top 5 draft blunders of all time. You don't need fucking the Stumbled Joke Brothers and all these people to do the NFL Films review of biggest draft blunder, top 10 blunders. It's right there. It's unbelievable. And it's sad, but it's where we are. And Mitch, like I said, I keep it Shayne and Clark don't have to agree with me. My truth is going to be on the show. It is, I believe, Coach Nagy did this to Mitch. I think Mitch has plenty of talent, but we've seen this in Chicago. Quarterbacks have not been successful. And I really think Nagy, obviously, Mitch is a part of that problem. I'm saying that.
Right.
But if I were putting a number on it, I see him being more of the issue. This is
what we're saying, Phil, though. This is the problem, and this is the issue that I have. Like, Braggs used to be on this fucking hill. Chris loves Mitch, and that's fucking fine. But every fucking time that Mitch Trubisky is referred to by people that are pro-Mitch, it's this guy was at fault. This guy was at fault. This guy was at fault. Oh, fucking Eddie Jackson got beat for an easy touchdown. He was at fault. Oh, it was the field goal kicker. He fucking missed. Tony Medlin had the wrong cleats on him. Oh, Mitch's pants were too tight. Mitch didn't have the right fucking sippy cup. They never fucking point out Mitch's flaws. Ever.
They're the same. And they're the same flaws year in, year out.
Exactly.
He never worked. He said this offseason he worked mechanics for the first time in his life. That's not on anybody else other than
number 2 pick in the draft.
Number 2 pick in the draft. And those, I always will go back to that. So it's in the reality of the tape that Mitch Trubisky had these flaws coming out of North Carolina. He was my 5th quarterback when I looked back. I totally forgot I had Chad Kelly ranked ahead of him.
You were a big Chad Kelly fanboy. Yeah.
If Chad, we don't get the off the field. Yeah, if he wasn't he had a lot.
Breaking news. The tape never lies. Network breaking news.
Yes. Breaking news in the TTNL update desk, Phil. Ian Rappaport is reporting.
Oh boy, here we
go.
go.
Chicago Bears have agreed to terms with defensive lineman, get this name, Angelo Blackson, to a 2-year contract. A productive player this year for the Arizona Cardinals, now in addition to a talented Chicago Bears defensive front.
Yes! I mean, anytime you can add someone named Angelo to your front four, it's just going to be a positive thing. Looking forward,
Angelo.
Yes.
That's just the hype.
All right, good, Claudio. Very good.
But what about Angelo? What about Angelo?
Angelo Marino from Wallingford, Connecticut.
Well, what about Angelo?
All right, there you go. Little teaser. Hopefully he satisfies the culture of the TTNL. We're still fighting.
Cars is just trying to make me go completely fucking mental tonight.
Oh no! There's a text.
No, just to him, just because I knew this would be a nice one to go.
Is this somebody attacking you on?
No, it's people pissed off about the free agent signing because defense isn't a need in Chicago.
And they spent all of $2.5 million on a player, so obviously they don't care about the quarterback position or the offense.
Oh my God!
Sing it, we will rock you.
Yes, we will rock you. Shayne, do we have that hat pick?
Oh, I can get it.
We wanted to get you guys involved. Here's our guy Dieter Eisland. He was on the show a couple weeks ago talking about his
hands
experience. I mean,
crazy,
unbelievable. Jesus. That logo just is
Dieter's
so big.
thumbs are too big. That's why Mitch didn't complete the pass card.
That's a guy's hand that could just literally scrunch your face, right?
Oh
just put it up to you and squeeze the living
And
hell
he's
out
got
of it.
such the fucking temperament. I texted Olin to check in on him. He's like, Phil, he's raw, but he's got so much ceiling. So I'm pulling for Dieter. He's rocking the TTNL swag. I'm going to put that out there tomorrow. I've been inundating people with our swag. Dante Jones, our fam in Texas, rocking the swag. Lemonhead, Lemuel, right here. There he is. Rocking the swag. I don't know where Dante's picture. Oh, there it is. There's Dante Jones. Just love that name. Saturday, X's with the O's, breaking down this guy, Andy Dalton. I
hate gingers. Mitch isn't a ginger. Fucking
Andy Dalton.
Never seen anything like it.
Sign up, www.thetapeneverlies.com. Yes. And then my Draft Dr. Phil's version of that will be on Patreon only as well. So got to go sign up. We'll be breaking down Andy Dalton by the tape, not by his stats. So you're going to want to check that out. We're going to be looking back the Bengals career as well as tape from last year with the Cowboys. So it's going to be
nice that you can look at the 2017 season, right, with laser calling plays and see exactly how that was used. That's going to give us a good look as to what to probably expect from us.
So, Phil, those are up if you want to. I don't know how you want to pop them up. You can introduce it.
So, guys.
And I will give my thoughts. I know where Claudio's thoughts are going to be.
Hold up. Don't say any sways. I want our 100 crew. And if you're obviously not everybody can watch live, even though there's almost 300 of you right now watching still live, 3 hours and 30 minutes, Shayne. We're going to get the shout outs next. This is going to be the last thing right here. We're going to be poll. We want swag, hats. I've seen Cool Kennedy. You saw him with his hat on in the open. We're thinking about this hat right here. So it's been brought to us. A lot of people like this hat and putting the Keepin' It 100 logo on it, that kind of design. So we want to, from the chat, we'll keep it going for a couple days, Shayne, and see what you're thinking on it. And then I'll let you both comment on it. I'll leave it up there in a second. But Shayne, you don't like this style.
No, I'm a simplistic hat guy myself.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, but I mean, if I was to go with it, you can put the TTNL logo up there.
Yep.
I like it better without the lines in the back.
Yeah.
If it was on there.
The lines to me is a little busy.
Well,
yeah.
Claudio's a big fan of this.
Yeah, I mean, this was actually my idea. I saw that hat on eBay.
Oh, that's why we hate it.
Oh,
that's why we hate it.
Ivan Vargas likes it.
Listen, I'm all about the retro look. That to me screams 80s, early 90s type of style with the lines. So I don't know. I kind of like it, and I think with the TTNL, it just I don't know, it pops. But I mean, listen, if you don't like it, you don't gotta buy it. But it could still be in the swag shop.
Michael Diaz is a fan of the hat. I see a lot more fans of the hat than I
don't know. You gotta look.
Jeff, so Carr's #1 fan says no.
Lines on it. Well, see, but Shayne, I like your idea where you're saying everything but the lines. So
yeah,
I'll put that one back up.
Yeah, it's a cleaner look. Like I said, dude, I'm not a splashy hat guy. But that's my preference. It doesn't.
Well, I think
doesn't make it right or wrong.
Very easily, you could do two versions of it: lines, no lines.
All right. So that brings us to our final segment. We've talked about Mitch. Obviously,
he just signed with the Toronto Argonauts. 2-year deal. Oh, I'm kidding. That'll fire up
the CFL.
That'll fire up. That'll fire up the chat room.
Smoke weed every day. Smoke weed every day.
I know I will.
Laugh. Oh my God,
it just makes me laugh. I can't help it. Anyway, yes. The final segment, shout out song. Claudio always one of our best producers, I'll tell you that.
Shout out Tape Never Lies. Shout out, I know you hear me, baby. Shout out, I know you see me, baby. Shout out, we gotta holla at you. Keep it 100 crew, gotta show love too. Shout out, I know you hear me, baby. Shout out, I know you see me, baby. Shout out, we gotta holla at you. Keep it 100 crew, gotta show love too. From the fans in the stands to the follows on the gram. Thanks for your support, showing love in the DM. We stay Spencer strong, fight together till the end. Now it's time to shout out worldwide friends and fam. Like
the network that keeps it real, 100 crew. So many in the world that I gotta show love to. For some this part, single show is at its end. But for me it's so important to thank the charter members and the fans. Built the network, speak the truth through the tape. Never run around the truth, no narratives we create. Set them straight, no bubble screen on 4th and 8. Claudio Shayne getting nervous cause keeping them up too late. That's it, no more to say to get the shot of vital. But hurry up cause the postman's getting homicidal.
Shout out, I know you hear me, baby. Shout out, I know you see me, baby. Shout out, we gotta holla at you. Keep it 100 crew, gotta show love too. Shout out, I know you hear me, baby. Shout out, I know you see me, baby. Shout out, we gotta holla at you. Keep it 100 crew, gotta show love too.
The network that keeps it real, Spencer strong.
Fucking ending sucks, right,
Claudio.
Listen. I don't need to say it again. Well, where's the instrumental? I want to play the instrumental for the shout-outs. I'm waiting on it.
Oh, we got to get that. Cool Kennedy, we forgot about that.
We'll go with this. This is a
good
it.
Yep. We gotta send that on YouTube to Claudio, an original Cool Kennedy beat. Anyway, we always start our shout-outs with our guys below, and that's Claudio and Cars. And Cars, I felt like you were more a part of the show than Claudio tonight, even though Claudio got a great guess.
Claudio, I kind of forgot Claudio was here, to be honest.
Just kidding. Cars, do you have anyone to shout out this week as we head into the draft season?
Well, due to your Facebook post, I have decided I am going to refer to all the nerd fans as lambdas. That is now the way we are going to roll this out.
We need a lambda T.
That's right. We undefeated, the most dominant team in competitive fraternity sports ever. So I want to make sure that is gone out. But no, I think again, thanks everybody for the migraine you've given me for complaining about Andy Dalton on Twitter this week. My edible intake is at an unhealthy high, I think, at this point. But no, otherwise, what's that?
Intended there? Unhealthy high?
Unhealthy is definitely planned. So no, thanks everybody, and looking forward to us now getting to able to move on to the other stuff.
Beautiful. My wife is a big fan of yours. I was thinking you were going to shout her out, but
she is. That's why she's part of the lambdas, right? I mean, that's the way that this is the way that rolls.
Women with the name Steph are big fans of this guy.
Maybe not my wife. I don't think she's a fan of me. We've been married long enough that probably has ended at this point in time. So.
Claudio, your openings are getting better.
Yeah, I got it
to Bear Truth.
I got to shout out Bear Truth. I had to add him onto the list there with that. I appreciate that. I'm trying. I used to actually, sit there for like an hour thinking about what I'm going to say. Now I just 5 minutes. I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to say. So I think that's the key. So also shout out to Paul Zarate. I haven't seen him in the chat before. He might be a new guy to the chat. So.
Coasters.
Yeah, I haven't seen him.
Paulie's been around, man. He's a true follower of Shayne and Phil. Now he's here on this narrative. But yeah, Paulie Coasters on Instagram. Talk about getting a PlayStation, Claude. He's got hookups, man.
Really? I got the Oculus. The Oculus is actually pretty dope.
Oh my god, the Oculus gives me fucking dizzy spells. It's so dope. The lambdas. Oh Jesus!
Oh my God! What is going? We got a Manscaped commercial coming up.
It is Manscaped.
Oh my God!
Remember, put in your
get
code.
Rid of the fuzz.
Yeah, get rid of that fuzz. Your wife is going to be very happy. Manscaped hooked me up with a bunch of tools and formulations from their Perfect Package 3.0 kit.
Yes, thank you.
You never know when you're going to come across a stripper. And you want to be Manscaped, correct, Claude?
I'm so uncomfortable with Phil uttering the phrase "perfect package." That's gonna leave a skid mark for a while.
Where's the drop of Phil?
Perfect
cup. Small hands. We gotta get that.
I got small hands. Well played, Claudio.
Shout out my boy Mike for coming on. He was a great guest.
Yeah. Oh man, he was great.
Good dude.
He didn't get Dickerson. Dickerson, kind of.
We forgot to ask him about that.
Yeah, we should have.
Can't believe we didn't.
Somebody else, but Dustin Combs, obviously, we got to shout this dude out. This dude is always hooking people
amazing.
Oh, what a really great
guy.
Naquan is very excited. We've been texting back and forth the entire time here, and he is very excited.
If Naquan becomes a Bear, I think Dustin's going to get hooked up.
I think he's on their radar. I think for sure he's a guy on their radar.
Should be.
He's got to be.
Adeptus Serpentis for always asking good questions in the chat for our guests. He always has some really good questions. Naz Roseberry.
It's Nas.
That was not me, Angelo. That was.
So wait,
that wasn't me.
I have no idea what that was.
Thanks, Phil.
Thanks, Phil.
Oh, that wasn't me.
He says. I don't know what that was. That was Cars.
You know I'm going to get blamed for that. That was not me.
I have no idea what just happened.
I'll let you know after the show.
Wait, did the edibles just hit, or was that actually a thing?
No, that was a thing.
Okay, good.
Speaking of Manscaped.
Manscaped.
Everybody needs Manscaped. Angelo's father, we're sending him Angelo's dad, we're sending him a kit.
It's bold.
But what about Angelo? They like to go out for ice cream. It gets hot. I like his ski boots in the summertime. Those are sweet. You know?
That's a solid. I can't. Please get that picture off.
Like that and ask me to shave his.
Swear to God, I'm seeing a sass.
You know what, guys? That's my phrase.
You know what? Phil is like the storm. Shayne is the quiet. Shayne is so smooth. If you put Shayne on bread, he was bread. Yeah. Draft Dr. Phil, where you at?
Guess what, everybody? Ladies and gentlemen, we have two special guests.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, I'm a big Kate Beckinsale fan, so I'm okay with that poster.
From Michigan State, baby. And we have Claudio the Barber's friend, Mike.
Watch the spike, Shayne. He hit something. Watch.
He will be on the show as well.
Watch this.
Great show, ladies and gentlemen. And like I always say, Angelo Joe Marino, we are keeping it 100 on this show. And I'll say it again, keeping it 100, baby.
I hope it didn't break one of his humans.
Broken antique.
Oh no! Oh God, no!
I had to play that. Such a great job, Angelo. Working his way back to you, babe.
So happy to see him.
Both
again.
of those guys.
Last one, my wife and kids, especially my daughter Alicia, my 12-year-old. She came with me on a trip to Maryland for a show that I did, a sign show thing, and that was awesome. We had a great time. So shout out to her for actually wanting to spend time with her dad. That was awesome. So there we go.
There you go. There you go. Shayne, got anybody you're shouting out? Claudio?
Yeah,
no.
Definitely.
He's gonna say no.
Definitely shouting out our guests tonight, man. They brought the positivity, they brought the energy, and that's what we're all about here on this network. I'm gonna reserve the rest of my shout out. This is probably gonna piss cars off a little bit, but I do have to shout out Greg Braggs and Jenny and Addie and Barb.
Okay, that part I'll give you. That part I'll give you.
Yeah, they were
my shout out now. All right.
Yeah, dealing with we've all been through it. We all have kids. Addie was dealing with some stuff and wasn't feeling well, and it can always be a scary situation. And it was Phil and I were literally on the phone with the guy while everything was unfolding. It was actually, made us nervous for him. And thankfully, Greg, for the first time in his life, was using his brain and did the right thing and, took off and went and got things checked out. And his fatherly instincts kicked in and he got it taken care of. Because, I've been there when there's an issue and you have to just go, at the drop of a dime. And it's crazy. Claude, you dealt with it with your daughter, man. We're sitting here pissing and moaning and worried about the Chicago Bears quarterback, and shit like that puts stuff in perspective really, really quick. So just glad that the Addie's better, and shout out to the Braggs family, Barb included, my lady. But just glad everything is back under control there. So those are my shout outs.
Well said, man. Totally appreciate. I'm just going to piggyback off that and shout out Greg Braggs for stepping up, using your fatherly instincts. This show is about family. We all mess up and we do things. But yeah, I wanted to shout him out too. So since it's out there, I want to shout out Sammy the Bull. Sammy the Bull.
Sammy.
Back, patron, and he is totally doing the things that I hope people will do. Like I hate the people that watch in private. It could be Canadian, could be wherever, and they just real recognizes real. So I just want to make sure I shout people out that share the show, as Jackal Be a friend, share with the friend. That's where people get to the point where we meet amazing people like Dustin Combs, who I want to shout out tonight, on top of the Xbox for doing what he's doing for my boy Antoine Lee. I want to shout out every week Antoine and Alberto Valdez, needing a kidney. These guys are families, and I really want to make sure that people understand if you have a hookup, it's always about, it's not what you know half the time, it's who you know. If you know anything about kidneys or anything of that nature and could help out, not just with an Xbox, you could do it. Logan Frost, seen you all night. You're my star tonight in the chat. I want to shout you out. You're involved, you're compassionate, you love the show, and I really, truly, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate you. Josh E., you're just an amazing 100 crew guy supporting the show. I shout out so many people that sometimes I really want to be direct in my shouting out of people that have stood out this week to me. We had a great show with David Kaplan, and I want to shout him out. And I want to tell you why. Today, I'm listening to, what's his name again, Shayne? On David Kaplan's show.
Oh, Dan Wiederer.
Dan Wiederer.
Car's favorite guy.
Here's a guy that's
Danny
just
Sunshine?
Just
Danny
drum,
Sunshine?
He's
Yeah.
just drumming up negativity. Just drumming it up.
Constantly.
And for the first time, you know, I just am listening to Kaplan as a ESPN host, and he's truly reaching into the heart of the fan, understanding to push back. So I'm loving that. I don't know why we're having trouble streaming. Did you see this pop up, Shayne? Just popped up. I don't know what's going on.
What popped up?
It's possible the stream ended or deleted on Facebook. I don't no idea on our channel. Anyway, David Kaplan, amazing job just speaking up, pushing back for the narrative against him. So that was amazing. And then I want to shout out all the Lambdas for cars, all the support.
And Ted Phillips was the mastermind of all of it. And Ted Phillips is the reason why, and the only reason why, the McCaskies have control of the Bears right now, and it's not under Hallis' hands.
Day. Hey guys, what's going on?
Whoops.
I don't know what happened there.
Wasn't on my end.
Oh my God. I have no idea. Anyway, in my shout out, I just really appreciate everybody that was in the chat tonight, especially the two guests, Mikey A, for coming on and really showing just an outsider's view on the Bears. And obviously Naquan Jones putting the cherry on top of what we're doing here in regards to him. There's just a bond. I want to thank Claudio for what, handling the show in the chat room tonight, as well as Chris Jackal behind the scenes producing. We got a lot of exciting stuff coming up. And the last guy I wanted to shout out was my guy who helped get Naquan, is Sam Knepp, who reached out to me on Instagram. Great dude. He loves the show, so he wanted to make sure that he got his guy on the show, and I really appreciate that. Shout out to you, Cherie. I see you. I wish that was breaking news because things would change real quick. Bullets, you were amazing in the chat tonight. Mandy, saw you in there, keeping it 100 on Manscaping. So great night, great show. Appreciate you all. That's all I got to say about that. The conspiracies are over, Shayne.
Let's
sing it. We will rock you.
That probably got us in trouble or something. Anyway, you guys, will see you next week. We have from Under Center Podcast, Kenneth Davis is going to join us on Keepin' It 100 next week, as well as Funkster Jones is going to make his first appearance early on in the show, Shayne, because he works late, so he's got to come on early. So next week we're going to have Funkster Jones.
Gangsters, what's up, guys?
There you go. So, okay. That's it. End of the show. It was a great night. Let's love you. We'll see you next week on Keepin' It 100.
The Tape Never Lies Network.
The tape never lies. Tape never lies.
Starts now.